Hey! Welcome back to Manta Grid. My name is Andre. How's it going tonight? It is a day in May 20th. How's everyone doing? Let me hit some buttons and we'll be all ready to go. Smooth transitions. I'm pretty late today. My hair is soaking wet. It's okay. It's a good look. You don't look greasy. You look like a swimmer, and that's an athlete. That's something people like. Which one of these is what I want? There. Okay. How's everyone doing? Hopefully doing well. Jessica, what's up? I haven't been around too much. Not into Netrunner right now. I'm so behind your videos. I'm still on the beginning of April, I think. Yo, don't trust early April Andre. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Just keep that in mind. I'm much wiser now. And by the time you get to this, even this Andre will be outdated in terms of institutional knowledge. Baza, how's it going? Chris, yo, Chenchling, Ixaran, Solomir, Jinglis, happy Thursday. Macaroni, how's it going? It is really warm in Montreal. It went up to like about 30 degrees, which is Celsius. I don't know what that is in freedom degrees. And so the air conditioning is now on. So if the audio quality is way worse, I didn't have time to check it tonight because we were running late. Hopefully it's not awful. Is it awful? Is it bad? I'll melt if it's bad. I hope it's okay. Yo, Seabass, how's it going? Giles, how you doing? It's 86F according to the Googles. That sounds like a high number, but I'm pretty sure 80 is pleasant in America. I'm watching this VOD in late June. The world is very different. There you go. But that's good. It's good to always understand that the world changes. Hopefully for better. Ottawa's was that hot too. Us Canadians melted the temperature. Yeah, it's like way hotter here in Canada than just like 2 hours south. And if you go to the States, from my understanding, I don't know what's going on. I obviously don't understand how weather works in the slightest. We're going to be playing some Netrunner tonight. That's for sure. This is another deck by Armin Firecracker, who had the deck list of the week last week, which was an issue for me. Had to play it. And it was quite hard to play. And then this was really weird because the deck list that they had of the deck list last week wasn't the deck that they brought to Aki's huge 70-player online tournament. And they still got now 2 deck lists in a week in a row. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. Has anybody ever got 2 deck lists in the row? Seems pretty impressive. And Armin said on the YouTube comments, don't worry, this week is going to be a lot easier. It's just 4 breakers. And Apocalypse. How hard can it be, you know? How hard can it be? Audio's fine, seems the usual. What's your audio chain anyways? So I got a Shure SM7B that goes into a Motu M4, which has enough gain on it to make this microphone not sound too terrible. Sometimes people will have like their own cloud lifters or something, but I've been okay with it. The Motu M4 I'm a big fan of. I'm not a big audiophile. And that just goes into my computer through USB. And then within OBS, there's some EQ and some, I think there's some compressors. And I think there's like a limiter or whatever, so I don't peak. It's been like summer weather in Vancouver for the past month. I think Vancouver is just a tropical forest. That's what they taught me in grade school. Hector, how's it going? I'm happy to have named my son after the man Andre Ubrock. What? Are you serious? Congrats on the son and the sick name. That's ridiculous. Yo, Lamilla, how's it going? Welcome. Audio sync has drifted very hard, actually. I cannot check that. Is the sync good? Caroline, how's it going? Good to see Lad getting some action. Yeah, Lad's all right. Lad is feels a bit bad when you play against Precision Design sometimes. Yo, Eric, how's it going? Going to live in Vancouver. Come and hang out and play. I have never been to Vancouver. I definitely want to. I've heard good things. Now Eric is there. It's even a bit better. Are you shipping out in September? I take it. Refreshed. I'll go now. Oh, sick. Okay. Baza says it's fine. Okay, it's a temperate rainforest from back when I was in grade school. Yeah, that's what they told us. They said it's a temperate rainforest, and I was like, "Ooh, cool. We live in a rainforest." And late August, law school starts in September. Awesome, dude. Congrats. Really lacking the rain. Yeah, I like rain too. I kind of do. I spend a lot of time indoors, like most people do, I guess now. I don't think there's much to say about this deck besides Apocalypse seems really good for the meta right now. We have some new cards from System Gateway, 3 Teleware Contract. This sort of deck used to play what's it called? Armitage Code Busting. Just because it was a card that you got money from and then you didn't care if it blew up or not. which is quite nice. Also, Apocalypse works really well with a Shaper. You keep an Aesop's Pawn Shop in hand and start selling the remnants. And Telework Contract, mind you, does work well enough with Aesop's Pawn Shop. You can basically get 3 credits without a click on the last hit if you really need to. We have a single artist colony, which is specifically tech. It is technically a flexible card, and sometimes you could end up trading an agenda for an Apocalypse, but it's specifically tech for the game net decks, the sort of game changer combo decks, or not so much combo anymore, but really game changer is a hell of a card. We have Varcation, which is a nice draw card. Drawing is really important in Lat because you have 2 Apocalypses and you can't tutor them, which is important. Creative Commission is new and just good, and Out of the Ashes helps a lot with Apocalypse. It gives you free runs, so you can, even if you're very clever, Apocalypse and then have more runs on Centrals after everything goes down. We have a single paperclip and Ika 2 Ngolo, and if you Apocalypse early, sometimes all you need is a single Ngolo. We have no Rozekis because, again, we're not looking for a permanent board state. We have a Conduit to win the game once the R&D is uniced after an Apocalypse, and a Contaminate to speed that up. It's a cute 1 influence include. Misdirection for tags, and then nothing else that matters besides maybe Harbinger, which is good for Pawn Shop. I'm a System Gateway newcomer, and I look forward to your stream every week. Yo, Seabass, that's really nice to hear. I think we're gonna have to spend some time, maybe in a week or in a month or so, and do a couple streams that are just specifically startup, because I know there's a lot of players who are new to System Gateway specifically, and if you want to get into like a bigger card pool and play with some more stuff, oh, that's the wrong way. Startup is like a hell of a format. It's actually a really nice format. I'm a pretty big fan. And it's like way more approachable. It's just the Nisei cards, so it's like easy to get that stuff printed if you want. Forfeit failed to find baby, high skill gameplay. Wait, what? Yo, Phil, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Game Changer's not long for this world, I hope. Yeah, Jessica, it looks like right now, if you ask in the standard format, if people are looking for, what's it called? For like changes to the most wanted list, it looks like right now the big complaints, or the big things that I think people want to be targeted by balance changes are, I think more right now, people are upset about Red Planet Couriers, which is just so exciting to hear finally that the people are on my side about this. But otherwise, that sort of deck is a problem right now, it looks like, and maybe Sports Metal still is, but I haven't seen it to be too big of a thing. Oh, Eric says you don't need to find a thing with Artist Colony, so you can actually fail. You can forfeit an agenda and then fail to search your deck. So you can actually just get a shuffle if you really want to, which again, sometimes it's fine just to do that against a Sports Metal combo deck, but you might as well just grab something, right? Other than not being neutral, I really like Telework Contract. I think it's really cool too, and we're going to be doing the Shaper review videos. We got the NBN ones up just this week. And the Shaper is really cool because System Gateway is a bit different than, like, you know, the sort of what people call Shaper bullshit of modern Netrunner. It's less about doing things at click speed or at like instant action speed, and it's more about planning your turn. And this once per turn clause is kind of neat. CFB climates are typically by mild summers and cool mild winters due to the ocean's moderating effects on temperature and overcast wet weather. CFB. What's CFB, Lamilla? Game Changer should be limit 1 per deck. Yeah, Solomir, I don't even know if that does anything. Like, some people Game Changer for tempo, but a lot of the times that Sports Metal deck draws the majority of its deck. So I don't know if that's a big enough change for that to matter. If it's trashed and then it removes itself from game, that is different. Maybe if the runner trashes it, it also removes itself from game. Like, that could be more interesting, and that incentivizes, you know, accesses, but also, again, that works for the plan of Game Changer. So it's kind of, you know, in the middle. But I'm not saying that's necessary. I think we had more cards like Artist Colony that interacted with agendas, or ways to interact with that combo specifically. It'd be a lot more palatable. But this is the only tech card, besides like Stargate and not running archives. Yo, Timmy, how's it going? What's cracking? How you doing? Welcome. The new options can be overwhelming at times, but I'm getting used to it. Yeah, and Seabass, that's why I think, like, that's why I personally like Startup. And obviously I've been playing with a bigger card pool, so going to a smaller card pool is a lot more manageable for me. But it's like such a smaller card pool compared to the standard format, so it's the nicer way in, right? At least that's what I think. Most underrated card from the new set. Most underrated card from Gateway. I'm a big fan of Sprint. I'm a really big fan of Sprint, I'll be honest. It's really good for the sort of like combo kill decks that I like playing. I think Sprint is underrated, and it's just overshadowed by Spin Doctor. But Spin Doctor is very, very good. And it does something similar to Spin Doctor, and you're probably running 3 Spin Doctors anyways, so sometimes it doesn't find a slot. But I like it. I like it a lot. Ooh, that's not right. Hold on. How did I goof this? I goofed it like that. I was talking about my earlier comment here. I'll copy paste it. By the way, for a geography major, Vancouver is a moderate oceanic climate, Köppen climate classification CFB, and it's a temperate rainforest biome. Okay, cool. CFB is like the IMJT of climate stuff. Yo, Sangren, how's it going, man? It was a pleasure to drop by your stream. I took a nap today. I was really tired, and I woke up and Sangren was streaming. Yeah, we got to shout out the tournament. Do you know the deets? I guess you know the deets. It's your tournament. There's a tournament this weekend. Hey, Andre, happy Thursday. Something like 900 cards in standard, right? Yeah, I don't know the exact number. That sounds right. And I feel like we actually could tell how many cards are in startup. It's 130 plus 85 plus 75. Do the math. We're a runner. Sprint is good. I will one day convince UK Slack of that. Yeah, I know. There's certain decks that it's really, really good. Like any deck that wants to construct a specific hand, a lot of times it's like punitive, neurospike, hard hitting news, stuff like that. It's really, really good. 1 influence, 0 cost. Andre, now that I finally got my system gateway sets, I want to teach some friends how to play. What's the best way to teach someone from scratch? So Jingles, people have differentiating opinions on this. If you ask me, the easiest way to play, System Gateway makes it really simple for you. You play the starter decks just like they teach you, and then then you do the advanced starter decks, and then eventually you can go to deck building if that works. But what I would recommend, I always think that people should start playing as runner first. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that specifically. They think runner's a lot harder. I think corp is a lot harder. They also think playing against corp is more intimidating because all their ice is installed face down and people are scared about things. I don't believe in that. I think the one thing you have to recommend to every runner who's learning the game is just run everything. Just run everything. Literally nothing can hurt you that badly in System Gateway. There's no snare. There's no like hard hitting news. Just kind of run. And I think that's the easiest way. Again, the decks in System Gateway are really approachable. There's very minimal mechanics. They actually incentivize you to plan your turn and to do good stuff. There's a lot of cards that incentivize running. Things like Jailbreak are really good for that. This person has no name. I did not know that was a thing you could do. Is that a thing you can do? I would say that. Oh, CTM. Shit. So, you know, I think that's a good start. This is, what do we want to do? I guess this. So we're playing, thanks, you too. Sorry, I have to catch up on chat. Hold on one second. So we're playing against CTM. Apocalypsing CTM is nice. Sometimes we have to do trace for take a tag though, which with single tag punishment is not that big of a deal. Our opening hand in terms of like economy, we don't have dirty laundry to check remotes. So opening with a sure gamble would be nice. Opening up with creative commission is also really nice because you can trash stuff and then recover. So double simul chip in the early game is pretty bad. VR-cations, we're gonna mulligan this for sure. It's not that much better. At least we have this. I feel like a lot of people never really considered sprint because they just jump for Spin Doctor. Yes. Yeah, 100%. Sorry, 1 second. My friends say the Masscoms deck, your fave. I built a play a Masscoms deck. I built a new deck to try and beat it and finally managed. Felt so good. That's always a good feeling for sure. The Masscom decks are actually like very competitive right now, like incredibly competitive. I'm just gonna start checking things. I wish we had some money. We're not gonna get our lat. 290? Oh, thanks, Jim. That was the math. So Mumbad Virtual Tour, just ruin us. Rashida will trash that. We'll float a tag. Is Sangrid's running another SSS? I have not heard of it. I think it's a constructed stream, right? Like standard format. So we trashed one thing. So this thing says first time a turn, trace 4. Oh, sorry. I need to catch up on chat and everything. So Mumba Temple. So we trash this, we go down to 1. I don't think we trash this. The problem is we have nothing really to do to set up here. We can throw this out easily. So I think we just click for a credit. We can't play Pawn Shop. We honestly could consider drawing 4. Do we ever VR-cation here? Standard is too big of a card pool for me. I feel like startup is a really good place. Yeah. Sprint is good for specific purposes. Well, Spin Doctor is extremely versatile. Yeah, no, I think that's true. Andrew, how's it going? I think we're just clicking for credit here. And we'll just throw out this and maybe a Pawn Shop. I'm running a startup tournament in about 1 month. They hacked JNet to have the name null. Tobo, what's up? Warwick, how's it going? I also have a startup GNK in person on Saturday. Yo, in person. That's interesting. I assume their name is like blank or some special character. Yeah, I'm assuming it is just null space, right? I thought I learned playing Corp was a bit easier because you just have more information. Yeah, no, I hear you on that, but I just don't think it's Oh man, wait, I have to catch up on chat before playing this matchup properly. So they just spin doctored. They're down on 3 cards in hand. What are we worried about on the table? An AR enhanced security would be a big deal. I think that's the only thing we really care about stealing. Why are there only like 70 barriers on 120 sentries? Well, fact, I've learned my week on ARDB. I'm surprised by that. Throwing out a pawn shop over clock feels a little iffy. That might be true. We're going to end up throwing out both of them. We need to find a minute to clear the tag. So Claude in the bin is fine. They're resing this to res the Jeeves, which is going to be a problem. We didn't try to threaten Spin Doctor, which I think they would let us trash because it's pretty bad. I don't know what we're going to SMC for, considering HQ is not that well guarded. I don't think Beth is going to be good. Just not sure how you explain what they can be doing as a corp for the new player while you're playing as runner. Yeah, it's a lot easier if you're playing a corp to look at the runner and be like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And that's a very big point. Be like, why don't you try doing this? Or like, I'm installing something in here. Like it's very easy to direct the game if you're a player who knows the game and you force the runner to do things. As a corp, like, and a runner, the best thing you do as a runner is stomp them. So they didn't res the Jeeves, they res the DBS. So now they're controlling their draw. So I think we still need to set up. If we draw into a Harbinger, we could do the pawn shop play and clear tag. Well, that's good. Awkwardly, we need a clear tag, so we're just going to go into SMC here. They'll res the Jeeves for free, which is a problem. Going great. Well, how's it going? On the run, but wanted to thank you for the videos. Oh, yeah, cheers. You're welcome. They're immensely helpful and great. Watch multiple times. Keep up the great work. Yo, appreciate it. Glad you've been enjoying them. They're actually really fun to make. We got a Shaper one, hopefully coming out this week. Okay, so we haven't run in a bit, so I think we want to check out what these are. Do we want to out of ashes for value? I think we do. We remove one of these from the game, from the bin. And we get a free run. There you go. And now we actually can drop misdirection. Do we want to run another one? I think we do. Like, this is not a deck that's going to border controls on centrals. It might be good to have one in the archives so that we can always get a free run in archives and have a click to clear the tag. No. So we can install this, double click. So our last click is not very good. Because we can install this and then spend 2 clicks and 2 cards to remove 2 tags, which is a fair bit better. So then we can draw once. It was mostly rhetorical chat, but I actually really appreciate the answers. I still haven't ran the numbers on ETR. I think I missed a number there, or a comment. I find it amusing, how's it going, Darkling, that I started Netrunner just as Jackson rotated and came back just as he got functionally reprinted. It's like he was always there. Speaking of the review videos, I'm bad and don't sub like because I always play them on the background at work where I don't log in on YouTube. Oh, hey, it's no big deal, Solom. It helps, and I think shouting that stuff out actually has helped the channel grow, which is kind of nice to see. All right, so we still are just working towards an apocalypse. We want to establish our economy. There we go. So next, I think we draw once, install telework, hit telework. And then we set up for the apocalypse. We're probably not going to need an artist colony. Keeping a second Aesops might be reasonable because we might actually use this first one and then Apocalypse after. But they're not doing too much right now, and they haven't hard-hitting news to us, so... Oh, never mind. This might go bad. They at least don't have anything to bounce here. Like, they don't have an Amani Sanai. They score an AR enhanced. We're going to float a tag after the Apocalypse turn. Do we clot this? No, it's in our bin. So the idea is they're asking for us if we can pull out a clot, but we have no real way to do it. Oh, they give us a tag. Damn, that's a good fork. It's either we clear this tag or we trash this. And that can be quite difficult. But because we have misdirection, we run, trash this, then clear the tag. So it's not too bad. We need to trash these because this is how they're planning to win. We also could have just said F that and then start running centrals and go for Apocalypse. That might actually have been better. Yeah, maybe trashing that was wrong. The problem is like with Daily Business Show, they're really controlling their draw well. So the chance of them drawing into another 3-2 or 3-1 from this board state is pretty hard. Also, a couple months ago, YouTube started recommending a lot of Taskmaster to me, and now I'm convinced it's because I watch your videos. Your Taskmaster is really good. It's actually really, really quite good. They're just rapping. It's all on YouTube. It's all free. And it's very, very good. My wife now drinks water from a big jar. Yo, it's a good life. So they're hardening using us. They actually spent some money on it. They paid 5 credits. Now we can't boost it, but we can always misdirection and then run. So we could run here first to check one of these are. I think one of these is definitely going to be an agenda. You need way more money to be able to APOC, I think. Yeah, we probably do. Like, we're assuming that one of these is a ping. One of these is not like an IP block. If it's a slot machine, it's still a problem because if we lose 3, we can't play this thing. So now we can check 3 of these. The question is, what do we die to if we float the tags? And I don't think it's much. I really don't think it is too much. Also, Taskmaster again, Manny and I didn't watch the finale yet, which was just uploaded, I think, today. So no spoilers, please. It's always moonshine. It's a mix of vodka and gin. Jeeves, okay. They have no cards in hand, so I'm not that worried about tag punishment. They'd have to draw it straight up off the DBS. A Nico. I'm surprised people run Nico. Oh, it's a Jackson into a Jackson, it looks like. Or a Sprint Doctor, so they res 1 Sprint Doctor, trash the other one. So, it's unique. So will we trash this? Oh, that's a problem now, because they're more likely to have tag punishment. That is really interesting. That is us addressing the fact, or not addressing the fact that Spin Doctor is in the game. So now the chance of them drawing tag punishment is way heavier, because they just drew 3, put 1 on the bottom, and at the beginning of turn, they'll draw 2, put 1 on the bottom. So if it's boom, we're dead on the spot. If it's hard profile target, we're dead on the spot. If it's psychographics, we're not dead. Yeah, so we could lose here. Yeah, Sprint Doctor got us good there. The CTM is working hard to turn off your ability. Oh yeah, they definitely are, but they can somewhat easily. Like, it's not too much work for them. Nico for free is so good. We really need to get that APOC off. They're also shuffling their deck, so now some of the agendas they might have bottomed in the early game are going to be floating up. Oh yeah, we did lose. Ooh, good game. Yeah, we could have respected that. I did not expect the Spin Doctor at all, and we lost straight up to that. I did not expect them to burst draw, and I'm just not used to Sprint Doctor being in the game. Sprint Doctor being in the game. But yeah, that'll do it. I don't know what ice they had on Centrals. It might have actually been okay there to try and go for the Apocalypse instead of running the board, which might have been better, because they only had 5 credits. I don't know whether they used their Mumbo Temple. I don't think they did. So if we force them to res this stuff, they might have been on too few credits for the Apocalypse to go off. But I doubt it. I think we need to get a pawn shop down and start pawning things. Nico's felt really good in my food code style startup deck. That's cool to hear. I miss the Adonis slot, and having a tempo agenda seems, or tempo asset is really nice. The draw is super killer. All right, let's get an APOC up. I don't think we started well there. Or Shaper Chris? No. I'm playing way too much Shaper. Corey says I did it as if I had any idea who those people are. Did you see the cast announcement for Series 12? Oh, Jordan, that's what you said. I did. Actually, my sister-in-law, she is from the UK, and our family has a Discord. She's like, oh my God, you must know. You got to see the lineup for Season 12. It looks so good, or Series 12. And then she listed all the names, and I think I recognized one of them. But everybody else seemed really excited, so... Who are they? I have no idea who they are. Okay, for those who don't know what Taskmaster is, it's really important that it's really worth checking out. Again, Maddie and I started on this basically when lockdown started, and all the content is on YouTube right now, or I think most of it. I think they're catching up on old seasons, so it's really easy to watch. But the basic idea is that they get 5 comedians or newscasters or just interesting, funny people together for a game show. And the game show basically is they're given tasks, and the tasks are generally something pretty inane and silly. And then they're just asked to do them in like a really open field, like with no restrictions. They record it and they watch it over in the studio, and then they give points based off of how the tasks go. And that sounds particularly dry. And a lot of this has to do with the chemistry of the hosts, which are very, very good, but also just the tasks themselves are so funny. Like season 1 has some of the most surreal things. Like one of them was like figure out what's in these pies without I don't think they were allowed to eat the pies, but then they get like oh man, this is a struggle because I'm not thinking of good tasks, even though like 90% of the tasks are amazing. Someone else help me out, please. One of us reshaper. Greg Davies and Alex Horn are such a good pair. They really are. Also, New Zealand, there's a bunch of other Taskmasters, and Taskmaster New Zealand started out really rough in my eyes and turned around incredibly. It's a very different tone too. Uh-oh, SSO. SSO really tilts me. If you can Apocalypse, though, you're in a good spot. Opening hand, best card is Gamble. Gonna mulligan it. We don't need a Clot in this matchup, and Contaminate is not a card you need. Taskmaster US is awful. I forgot that exists, and I think I've been warned that it is particularly not good. The UK is really interesting because they have like a lot of panel shows and stuff like that, and it's all personality based. But I don't know, maybe this is like super pessimistic. The majority of personalities in the UK that garner that sort of media attention are generally very quick and very witty, and I don't think that lands the same way on this side of the pond. You lost me and not allowed to eat pie. What sort of sad show is this? Oh man. Some of the old seasons aren't available in the US for some reason, but most of it's available. Oh, beans. Alan Davies is one of the most people are excited for. He's a panelist on QI. Okay, I know who Alan Davies is. He has like the wavy hair. Okay, don't know what's on HQ. Maybe a Chrysium. We could go for a central run. They opened up with a too big to fail, which means they could be on a tag punishment deck, which I don't think is a big problem for us. We could install this, hit it, telework. That's good enough. But if that's a Chrysium, that's going to be a problem for us. Hordem. Okay, good to know. We'll just keep our money up. And we ended with 3 cards in hand, which we did on purpose, so we can draw a card. Apparently, JPN TV is the same. Personality. Oh, Japanese TV. Oh, interesting. That's really, really bad. Yeah, SSO got a lot harder. Again, this is an agenda or an identity that really wants face-up agendas, and you used to be able to build a suite of all the 5/3 face-up agendas, and it's just not the case anymore. We were pretty sure this is a Hordem. Another thing that we can do pretty safely is we can early face check, because advanceable ice is either not good without advancements or very expensive. So I don't think there's anything that we're that scared of. If we hit a mouseless and it hits our Angolo, we're going to be a bit upset, but... Did they mulligan? They did, so they could have a horrible hand. Yeah, that's fine. Oh wow, that's how they do bad publicity now. That's neat. I'm assuming this is a Hordem here too. I'm okay with them rezzing that if they want to. Oh, okay. That makes sense. We have no protection against this. A lot of times they'll do a big city works with a dedication process, dedication ceremony. So that's actually kind of hard for us to interact with. I don't think we have any tech for that besides blowing up everything. So we'll draw. We have a Diesel next turn. Is it more important that we Diesel here or hit telework? I think we can just be safe and hit telework. Oh, Dewey. They order a pizza with these toppings without saying the name of the toppings. Task was pretty great. Yes. That's a very good example of like the fun kind of lateral sort of things they do. We have lat draw. Oh, you're right. We have lat draw. That's true. And they have 1 card in hand. This says triple advancements on it. So I think we just Diesel, Angolo, and run it. If it's a Hordem with triple advancements, we actually can't break it. Oh no, we can. This is not an AI. So this is going to be only 2 damage. It's an Aket. So we can't break all of this. It's 5 strength. So we have to... Thinking. So there's a chance this is a Mesfingo or an Aket. So if we want to boost this, it's 2 for boost, 2 for paint, 1 for break. So that's 5. There's only 4. Yeah, we'll do it. Getting an agenda off the table... Oh, excuse me. Is really important. Just so that they don't get their, what's it called? Their ability. Oh yeah, they put advancement on there. That's fine. We want to play Creative Commission last click. That's a Hordem. We're going to go through all of this. We can give them a credit if we really want to. So do we want to give them a credit? I think we can give them a credit. Not advancing Seaworks project is a strange line. Yes, sometimes you have to do it because you rip it and you just want your value. So, okay. So if we play Creative Commission, we could die to Punitive. So I'm just going to go hit the telework contract instead. Because we want to end, in theory, they could top deck or have a Punitive. And they have similar money to us. So admittedly, we do have a link. So I just want to make sure we have enough money while also having 3 cards in hand. So if they're going to try and kill us with Punitive, they have to hit us with 2. And we know the 1 card in hand was actually a Neurospike. So they'd have to like really top deck aggressively. Oh, wow. Paint a rainbow in the dark. Only one of them realized you can turn the lights on, but lost because the painting was terrible. It's a really, really good show. Okay, so they just gave us 2 bad publicity, which again, this ice isn't very good. So one of the best things we can do is now just keep our hand size up so we're ready to interact with the CityWorks project as soon as we need to. Also with 2 bad publicity, basically Angolo is super cheap to use from now on. Oh, we should have installed telework and hit telework. I'm okay just installing it and not hitting it. No, we'll just drop and then creative commission. That's probably better. Lateral thinking could be the episode title. Yeah, we gotta build some lat decks. Unfortunately, I'm never excited to play lat. The one where they have to get the egg and the goal is amazing. Are they playing soccer with it, right? Or football, excuse me. Unadvanced card, likely wall to wall. It could just be another agenda, considering their agenda suite is a bit awkward with the modern state of SSO and face-up agendas. So it could be an agenda, but I think we just want to get an apocalypse, because if we apocalypse this board, we generally win. So I'm just going to drop. SMC is interesting because it gets us a paperclip if we need to in a pinch. We want to discard Out of the Ashes because this could be a border control and R&D. I think we actually could consider running for a single and then just hitting creative commission. So I'll run R&D to force a res. We can also double Ngolo. Yeah, we could double Ngolo. A lot of times, I don't know if you want to. I think you want to keep one Ngolo just so that if you apocalypse, you're not forced to flip it before being able to interact with the corp. Yeah, there you go. So that's important to know that they have that. Not that it would be a surprise. And like a single Ngolo is just putting so much pressure on them. Admittedly, though, they might have a barrier here. Little bucket goal surrounded by red carpet they can't touch. Oh, I think it's a potato, though, XRN. Isn't it a potato? Now things will come down a little. Posts against Singapore SC. Thank you, Giles. Okay, something happened. Okay, so they digital rights management because we didn't run HQ. So they added a CityWorks project from HQ to R&D, and it's on the table. So they're basically saying, can you run this? And I think we can. I really think we can. The question is how. We have 2 bad publicity. I think we just put down an SMC, or we could put down the second Ngolo. I think we just put down an SMC. We can draw once. And we just run this. And if we steal the second CityWorks, oh my god. It is a potato. Yes, that is a very good clip. Okay, thinking. So the idea is we can't get through 2 of these. But if we pull for 6, we pull a paperclip. We break 6. So we can always pull out the paperclip and let this fire, which isn't the worst. And then we can rerun, and then we'll have a click left. Now they will put 2 tokens on the CityWorks project, so actually that's a bit difficult. Shit, no, actually that's pretty difficult. Lat is like Hashiko Diogene. How's it going? Easy to use? Yeah, it's easy to use. But I think Hashiko's, easier to use. But yeah. Another option is we could always like next turn VRcation and go back. But the idea is that if they hit this to put a counter on it, hit this to put a counter on it, they'll be on 4 counters. And when we access, we'll have more money. The problem is like Neurospike is definitely a big issue unless we keep our hand size to theirs, which I think is probably the right thing to do, and then just set up an apocalypse in the meantime. So we'll let them, yeah, let's just APOC, yeah. Do we VRcation? I think we do. Yeah, we do. Hell yeah, we do. So we gotta throw some stuff out here. We don't need a Harbinger. The Simul Chip will be okay. Contaminate is by no means necessary to keep in our hand. We have to throw out 1 more. We want the Paunch up for sure. We know they have a border control, and we draw a card sick. Keep Harb? Yeah, maybe we should have actually, because we're going to Apocalypse. We're going to spend a lot on this run. Throw out the SMC? Yeah, I think that was right. So they got the free advancement here. And again, they want to Neurospike us, so they want to get that to high advancements and leave it. At this point, they saw that we thrown out a Harbinger and Contaminate, so things look a bit suspicious. Late in the UK, enjoy the stream. Clearly, I need to check out Taskmaster. Clearly, yo, it's really good. Check it out on YouTube. It's under Taskmaster. There's a lot of videos. The ones you want to watch are labeled like Series 10, Episode 1 or whatever. Good chance it's Crisium. It is probably Crisium, and luckily we can get a free run this turn with Out of the Ashes. We can go check. And we run this for like 1 credit. Mass comms for 6. Oh, they're going for the remote. Salam's. Get out. Oh my god. They cleared the APOC from hand. Nice. And they border controlled the remote. Oh man, we got wrecked. Okay. So we probably still want to run we want to run HQ at some point. We know 1 card is a Neurospike. They need to have 2 Neurospikes. And they could have an agenda in there. Yeah, we got no scope for sure. That is a really fun include. Modern Pro. Oh wow. So we won APOC at 24 cards. That's a really good include. I'm a fan. I guess we just draw. Oh, we actually could just pressure this out. and force them to put more stuff on R&D. I think we can just try and close the game with this. I'm okay with just slamming this and going. We still have to respect punitive, but... Oh, we could have actually pulled a barrier there. Andre and Equivocation is my favorite buddy movie. Yeah, fuck. Oh, we should have pulled the barrier for sure. So how much does it cost to break? 2 to paint, 2, 3. So there's only 3 real credits. We'll do it. And it builds up their CityWorks project, though, which is how we lose. I was typing the SMC for Conda when you drew it. Yeah, I wish we could have ran archives and got the paperclip down for like 4 credits, which would have been way smarter. Oh. Am I in danger? They have 6 credits, 2 cards in hand, considering we know one's a Neurospike. I think we're okay. Huh. APOC has played quite a bit in the past few weeks. A lot of decks have tech for it, but Salem's is a really fun one. Yeah, I've never seen someone Salem's for APOC that confidently. Like, normally it's just Crisium Crate or Border Control. I'm surprised they went for that line. And again, if they keep 5 cards in hand, we can always try and match their hand size if they're on 5 and then not die to double neural. They have to triple neural us, which is a bit harder. It'll buy us time and hopefully we win off one more agenda. All right, so it's this turn and we can't keep 6 in hand. So we basically can lose this turn. So question is, what do we do? I think it involves us simul-chipping in for a paperclip and trying to win off of R&D because we're going to lose to double Neurospike because we don't have a way to interact with this. That means we are going to out of the do we out of the ashes just to run archives for free, or do we run HQ for 1 credit? Thinking. Sometimes I guess I miss notoriety. Oh my god, it'd be so good. Yo, Vincent, how's it going? So do we remove this just to check archives? There's no way there's an agenda in archives. That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Got a CBI right here. It'd be so good. So the idea is they score this. They scored a 3-pointer and they do Neurospike, which would be 6 damage. And normally we could dodge that if they had 5 cards in hand, but they played it perfectly. So you need like an imp or any sort of disruption. If we had the Contaminate, it's not playable because Conduit is at 1 advancement. You can only, or 1 virus counter. So what I want to do is get the simul chip down so we could run archives to install the SMC to install the paperclip. That also seems more expensive. But the issue right now is we can only run R&D once with Conduit. Unless we reinstall an Angola, but that's also pretty bad. Damn. What do we do here? Man, if we got the Apocalypse off, this would have been such a different game, obviously. So we know 1 and 3 on HQ. So running HQ, probably we know 2 and 3 in HQ, right? Because we're assuming there's 2 Neurospikes. You're short on MU for SMC, but we just trash the Angola, right? Like we simul chip, we have to trash the Angola anyways to put the SMC in. So we don't care. I think we still do it, right? Because we do this, we trash the simul chip Angola, we SMC. Yeah, I think it's the best play we still have. Simul chipping the Angola doesn't sound bad. It only gives us 1 run. Oh, this is probably not that much better, actually. Oh, no, but now we run this for 1 credit. Now we run archives R&D for 1 credit. So they threw out a Whoredom. Because we had 2 bad publicity, right? 4 credits? Yeah, but we have 2 bad pub. So it's only 1 real credit. So it's not that much better. Like, it actually would have been better if we didn't do that. Or it might have even been better to simul chip for an Angolo, but it was in our hand, unfortunately. So I think we just do credit, run R&D, right? Because we have to boost this 4. Yeah, that's the best we got. And it still might not be game here. Like, they might not have double neuro. So this fires because they triple advance, so we can't break both of them. Not that the advancement matters that much on this board state. All right, let's go. Damn it. Okay, we're very likely dead. Well, not actually very likely, right? Like, we know a wormhole. We know a border control. Actually, we knew a border control. So now it's a wormhole with 3 advancements. So, oh, I thought we were going to lose right there. So that's a wormhole, which can fire not that much, but it's a free res for them. Damn. Okay, that's a mistake on our part. I was confident we we're going to lose, but we knew that there was also an ice in there. So the chance of them having double neuro is way low. And now we traded a paperclip for an Angola for a paperclip, which is a huge mistake. We should have added the Ashes R&D to get an Angola run before we trashed it. I think we didn't have the money to do that, though, because if we Angola run R&D with Out of the Ashes, it costs 2... Like it's pretty expensive because it costs 2 to paint, which is free, 2 to boost, 1 to break. So we wouldn't have enough money, I don't think, unless I'm goofing it. So now we're just trying to hold on before they neurospike us, which again, they'd have to top deck it. And as long as we don't go below 3 cards. Yeah, this is really awkward also because we need to get down. They're not purging, which is wild. So Wormhole's 7 strength. They drew a fair bit there. Wormhole's 7 strength. So we'd have to do... Oh, they're on 5 cards now. Actually, we're totally safe. But we have a turn here. We'll do draw. That's good. That's actually really useful. We'll do this, that, draw. So we'll draw once. Then we'll hit telework, hit sure gamble. And now because they're on 5 cards on hand, we'll get a free lat draw. So they can't neurospike us this turn. You're going to get neurospiked, Cat, eventually. It's likely. There's also a chance this is the border control, but they triple advanced it before they triple advanced one on HQ. Okay, that's more of a problem. Ngolo's only going to go so far here. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's a problem, because this is a, what's it called? The new, what's the Wayland upgrade from System Gateway? Because now we die. Because they res that and they get a second one. Yeah, it looks like the upgrade. Yeah, Thanos, it's 100% that upgrade. So I think we want to consider running HQ here. Oh, but we actually literally can't because of this. Jesus. Yeah, Malapur Data Vault, yeah. And they're on 4 cards. They played it perfectly. Okay. So the best we can do is hit telework, install Angola, run R&D, hit border control, run R&D. It's the best we got. I don't think we have another plan here. Unless we have 7 cards in hand and we run this, but I think there's a border control here. I think this is the border control. And they can be actually 9 cards in hand because they advance it on the way. So that seems a bit difficult. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think we have another play besides telework. We also do telework simulchip and then trade a paperclip for an Angolo. Is that cheaper? They're going to need a lot more than 7 cards. Yeah, we are. Thinking. So if that's a wormhole, we need to do an awkward 2, 4, 5. So it's 5, and then we need to install this. So that's most of our money. This is 4, so that's already 9 credits if this is wormhole into Aket. So, and then we have to install this. So that's 14 credits. Also, wormhole doesn't cost them to res money. Again, like one of the benefits of forcing them to res ice is they need to still have 7 credits if they need to fire Malapur Data Vault to kill us. So we can make them spend 8. We'll live for a turn. Currently winning Agenda B and HQ, they did draw a bunch. Yeah, I think going HQ is more likely to be the right play than going R&D. We do know, though, there's a neural spike in here, and I think that's all we know. But I think going HQ is more likely to be correct. Because going R&D just seems very difficult, and there's more likely to be a border control in R&D. So I think we do go into HQ here. We could do telework. I think we just do telework and Golo run. Or we could do telework simulchip and then trash the conduit. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Because then we could run twice, probably. Because we're not going to need the conduit. Oh, we know a DRM is in there. Yeah, you're right. Oh, this doesn't do anything. What's this? If the 3 more hit the runner 2 tags, fine. If the 3 install 1 program and 1 installed resource, it does nothing. HQ is more likely to contain agenda since they've been filtering out all the ice upgrade operations in the hand by installing them, yeah. Yeah, this does nothing because it only trashes 1 program. So it's only going to mean we get 1 run on HQ. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. We were going to trash that anyways. So we're going to use this. And now actually we can install this. Whew. Never mind. I forgot we didn't have to trash that. Sick. We don't want to give them a credit. Hello, how's the stream going? It's going good. This is our second game. We lost the first one really quickly. Shit. Crisium, okay. So can we go back? Excuse me. We'd have to paint this. It's 7 strength, so we have to do 2 to paint. 2, 2, 3. So this is 2, 4, 6, 7, then 8, 9, 10. I think we can go back, right? Because if we run here, it's 2 to paint, then 2, 2, so that's 6, 7. This is 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have 1 run back, yeah. So we can get a program trashed. I'll take 2 tags. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna die. And again, I think it's only a chance on 1 and 4. Like, we know they have a DRM, we know they have a neural EMP, or sorry, a neurospike. We know they have whatever the heck we accessed. Dedication, so it's very unlikely that we're gonna win here. Maybe we actually should have ran R&D here. Yeah, actually if we ran it, wait, hold on. Wait a second. Maybe running R&D is actually just a bit better here, right? Because it's only a single card, but like if they res a border control, they're underneath neurospike. I think we honestly run R&D instead. Because wormhole, they res for free, that's fine, because we can do 2 paint. So we don't paint, we do 2, 4, 5. We have 4 left for our... Do you mind? We haven't gained any information, so I wouldn't mind if they... Like, I would be okay with... I'm going to say this, obviously. It's not worth anything. But, this is unlikely to be a good run, and we haven't gained any extra information here. But in theory, running R&D is a better play. If they say no here. Thank you. That's very kind of them. We're going to run R&D instead. Because if they res anything that costs anything, besides maybe not Ket, I think we're fine. Because again, if they res Malapur, it's 1, and then it's 3 plus 3 for neurospikes, so 7. So if they spend 3 credits, they're good. They let you on, do they have an agenda in hand? Lol. Yeah, maybe, but still, it's only a 1 and 4 there. If anything. Yeah, there you go. So this, I think we can break everything here. So it's 5 for this and 4 for the next thing. So we actually can get an access here. They still have the clicks to masscom, score, neurospike. Oh yeah, you're right, Jessica. They would have clicks to get more money. You're right. So it's not gonna do anything. But it looks like they kept their money. So we can get a single access here. We've only seen 1 masscoms, yeah. But they have 9 anyways. Oh, Spin Doctor. Good game. All right, we give it a shot. They had good tech. There's a Malapur Data Vault, which lets them, when they score an agenda, pull a card from their deck. And that is it. Neuro into Neuro. Good game. Yeah. Lots of dying today. Yeah, I know. We've died twice so far. Our next apocalypse is in like 7 cards, so I don't know how aggressively you draw for it. Their what's it called? Their thing was so good. Their what things, and we almost got really close. Like if we score 2 of the City Works project, this deck falls apart. It kind of feels like Atlas is in anything else, but like I don't think they have a scoring plan for their other agendas. Ask for HQ? Yeah, maybe we could ask for HQ. It seems very unlikely though. It'd have to be a 1 and 4 if anything. And 3, 6. They're probably on 8 3-point agendas. Maybe they're on hostels as well. Who knows? More Shaper? Yeah, we'll do 1 more because we haven't landed an Apocalypse yet. But yeah, it's been really rough tonight. Runner. Yeah, if you missed it, we got Salem's Hospitality for Apocalypse, which is the right play for sure. If you want to see somebody playing this at a reasonable level, you can check out twitch.tv/netscapenavigator. And I think they're definitely, I'm assuming there's games on stream of Armin playing this deck. So you can check out the whole stream. This is Aki's stream. So after this, we're actually gonna be playing some NBN. I have a cool deck. I wanted to build an interesting deck. I love NBN trap decks. And then I started building an NBN trap deck, and then I realized I was like 60 cards in. And then realized there was an interesting interaction that I want to try. That deals with the weird HB card that helps us build a fast advance deck. And I don't know if anybody's been playing Near Earth Hub, and the question is whether Near Earth Hub is better for a horizontal deck as compared to CTM. I honestly don't know. I like Near Earth Hub because the card draw is good, and card draw makes it better for a trap deck where you can put more things on the table at once. Obviously CTM though means trashing your stuff is a lot more difficult, but maybe we can just score an AR and hand security in the early game and call it a day. Is it Puppet Master? No, it's not Puppet Master. Puppet Master is a really fun card. Is it even still legal? Puppet Master is like so cool, and Ocarina, it's like a pretty good identity. Yeah, it is. It's actually in Mumbat, huh? And I like this card a lot. Watch the NBN video you made and you seem so sad about the tag punishment gateway. Is that the real reason you want to build NBN today? Sort of. Like, I kind of want to build NBN because I've been, thinking a bit more about NBN because of the review video. Re-education? Nah, I don't want to do re-education. Re-education, it feels really cheesy to me, and I don't think it's that interesting. I think it's probably quite good, though. But, like, once you've seen the combo once, I don't think watching the deck is exciting for television. But it's probably good at a tournament. I wish ping worked with divert power. It does, Thanos. Oh, but like you can't give them a tag. I see what you mean. Oh, they're spectating us. They're just watching. But you can unres it at least. But if you could give you a tag on the res, it would be broken. But then also the problem I think more people would play, what's it called? There's this Wayland grid that I never remember the name of. Shit. There's a Wayland thing that says when you res something on this remote server, res other things on the remote server, saving 2 credits. And then you could just res 3 pings or 2 pings, and then you'd boom them. Speaking of your NBN video, I've been having a lot of success using Paper Trail to exchange of info of out of Glacier Wayland. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that's a really big deal. I don't think you mean Paper Trail. You mean Public Trail. Paper Trail's a different card. Paper Trail's an old agenda, right? But yeah, no, I think that's a really strong thing. Like I played it in Gateway or whatever, or in Startup. Maybe even Gateway, just to have like that one tag punishment surprisingly out of Wayland. And I think it's much better out of faction because people don't respect it. It's kind of like obviously playing hard-hitting news in Wayland. And if you have a single tag that wins the game, like exchange of information, then yes, it's a very strong card. Dragon, what's up? Could you please tell me where I can find a list of illegal cards? Yeah, actually it's pretty easy. If you go to nisei.net and you go to, he says it's easy and then he's going to struggle. And then you go to supported formats. This is standard, and this is where it's going to say legal sets, hit plus. These are all the legal cards. And if you want to go to standard ban list, these are all the banned cards. If you want to browse through that in maybe an easier way, if you go to netrunnerdb and you go to cards to advanced under the card search, you can just go here to rotation and go to 4th rotation, which is where we are, and hit search. In theory, that should work. And this will show you all the cards, and you can organize it by like faction or whatever. This is another way to do it. Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Yo, Pat, what's up? I'm still working on the reviews of your reviews, but spoilers, I don't know if you mentioned Neurospike at all in the NBN video. No, I did. I actually did. Because you can Neurospike people after Orbital. It's a superiority. I also didn't mention how good, I guess I did to some extent. But, wait, what was I thinking? There was like a really cool combination that I forgot to mention, I feel, that I realized after. Now I want to make a Surat City grid deck. Yo, Darkling, that's the one. It's Surat City. Oh, it's them again. Surat. So Surat City is a neat card, and the only time I've seen it played specifically is when and this card rotated, but Brain Taping Warehouse. So one word hyphen Brain Taping Warehouse. You basically could res all your Biroids when the runner had 4 or sometimes 5 clicks on their turn, and just res all of them for free. So Brain Taping Warehouse was a really good combination, but I haven't seen Surat City Grid used in any other means. All right. Our Phantom player, thanks, you too, that beat us with CTM a while ago is now playing PE. I think this is actually quite a difficult matchup because it's hard for us to get central runs without getting damage. And if we take damage, we can't Apocalypse them that easily. And not that Apocalypse is that good unless they have multiple things with advancements. So I don't think this one's going to show off the game plan of the deck that well. We also are on Conduit instead of Stargate or Hushik, so we actually are going to have to run and access multiple cards. Now, maybe on the good side, not that we need money so much unless they're a punitive deck, is that we do have Diesels and VRcation, so our card draw isn't terrible, and Lat helps a fair bit against PE. This is a good enough hand. I'm going to mulligan, though. That got way worse. Re-education Neurospike, yeah, Vincent, that's a combo. It just kills runners. A lot of NBN decks will just like in Acme or GameNet or whatever, well, or even what's it called, the new one in Reality Plus will just rush out, just score one of those. Yo, Jogging, how's it going? How you doing? Does Orbital Superiority seem fine, not as strong as the 5th agenda in a Corp draft starter? I'd like to give a little buff to Tagging Bag, but I don't really like playing blank agendas. No, I don't think so. It depends on how your draft deck is going, but like that is a card. Like, oh, it's so important in formats where you have limited economy to have just good positive agendas. Agendas are very good and positive for your board state. Giving the runner a tag does not help you that much unless you also can like trash a resource. And even if you do that, you're spending like so much money just to give them a tag and trash a resource. Like, it's not great. There's so many other agendas across neutral and all factions that do something good for you as the corp, and I'd value that way more in a limited format. Guilty Gear Beta was last weekend. Guilty Gear Beta, like just a fighting game? That's an Arctica Cypher. Oh shit. Not gonna trash that. I was gonna play on Sunday, then I realized when the beta ended. House of Knives will take that. So we lost, that is important. We lost some Apocalypse, which is kind of important. We know there's an Arctica on the table, so they could continue to advance it and then have like a Trigger Light thing, which is okay because we have Clot. Or one advancement, we'll draw. Oh, actually, hold on. Sorry. Do you mind if I just click for credit and get the lat draw? Yeah, we didn't have to draw there last click. Thank you. Yeah, so we could have ended with 3 cards in hand, so we could just click for credit instead of drawing. We should try and keep the Artist Colony? I don't know, Jessica. I don't think it actually matters. Like, Philotic Entanglement is not in the meta anymore, so the amount of agendas you have would only matter if they play things like Game Changer or, in theory, like Giordano Memorial Field, which I don't think they generally do. So a lot of times we actually need to win. I'm probably switching out the rebranding teams. Yeah, rebranding team is also like an agenda that needs card support on its own. It does literally nothing. There's Game Changer P. If there is, though, we have Clot. Maybe I have to be more scared of that, like Game Changer into Ronin. I've never seen that. That's kind of interesting. Funny how their name doesn't show up in the chat. Very mysterious. Yeah, I think they did that on purpose. I'm not doing too much here. I don't even think we need to create a commission, but if we have to put that in goal, it's pretty expensive. They call him Andre Takebacks Metball Grid. Yo. Sort it out now before someone sorts you out in the YouTube comments and says, in that video at this time you could have clicked for credit, and they're right, and I appreciate that they pointed out, like I really do, but gotta get ahead of that game, you know? When people watch you play, you're very harsh on yourself. All right, they're doing nothing in particular, but we don't want to run until we have a breaker because Sight Santon is such a blowout. Let alone they're just very close to like DNA track or stuff like that. So we just want to play the cards that we don't want to lose, and we don't want to play too many cards. We are going to mill ourselves out to some point. Maybe we didn't even have to play this sure gamble, but this is the sort of matchup a lot of times where a Rozeki is better than a gamble because you draw a heck of a lot, or you get a lot of value over time, and you don't need like a strong economy. Games across the continent are close to offline. Ooh, in terms of the rollback, that's really cool to hear. I don't have that much experience with fighting games. So I'm having to have to struggle with like garbage netcode or whatever. But I reckon that's incredibly important. Well, we're doing nothing. I really want to run HQ, but we don't have anything. We have 3 SMCs, 2 Ngolos, and even an ECA might be good enough. Gonna do nothing. They have 1 Apocalypse in the bin. That doesn't do it. What kind of jerk would suggest lines in the chat? Got him. All right, Urtica is in the trash. We have a card with 2 advancements on it. 2 pieces of ice. What are we scared of them scoring? Again, we could die to Neurospike. Artist Colony could be a good way of making stings hurt less. Sort of. Yeah, if they score stings, you're right. But if we steal stings, no. But we're hoping they don't score anything. 6 credits. I just want an SMC. I just want an SMC. This is a really bad draw. I hope is to set a new industry standard. You know what? I'll play this just in case. It also lets us like thread and clot and stuff like that, which is something they have to respect. And I don't want to discard cards. Like I know Out of the Ashes is, oh, you know. Yeah, this seems rubbish. Smaller games had to get attention, but the big dogs ignored it. Rollback netcode is amazing, and any fighting game without it is just hamstringing itself. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played any fighting game online. But I've never been into like the, you know, oh, that's a Mwanza, that's a problem. Rollback has been around since X360 days. What other games have good rollback code? So I don't know what to do now. There's a card in archives. I just need to get a breaker. Are you serious? We're halfway through the deck. Chat, what is rollback? From my understanding, it is code for fighting games that basically eliminates or reduces the penalties that latency or the problems that latency would enact upon your game state. Skullgirls I've heard good stuff about. Real-time multiplayer on the internet are mistakes. That's not true, Corey. Go play chess. It'll be fine. Have you tried drawing a breaker? Yo, I've tried. I'm pretty sure we've tried this. Well, like, I don't know what to do. Like, we're just playing gambles, and I don't want to just discard cards from my deck, even though it's probably the right thing to do. Oh, wow, Anika. And dive kick. Dive kick, really? Hansei, they threw out a card. They trashed a 3 advancement thing, and they've preemptived. So this is the big issue here, is like, they're just going to put everything on Mwanza and R&D, and it's going to be very hard for us to interact with. Fuck. It's going to be very hard for us to interact with Mwanza. We would need a Stargate. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid? Kill Switch, really? SSBM Slippy? That's like the modded scene? Them fighting herds? I own that on Steam. I think I got it in a Humble Bundle. I thought rollback was a term that Walmart used for clearance. It is, it is. And fighting games want that sort of like accessibility at the cost of mom and pops. So Ika is good. It could be like an Engram Flush on HQ, which would be bad. I just want an SMC. I hate this. This is what we wanted. Who's ready to play some Netrunner? Am I right? Who's ready? I'm going to throw this in the bin so they can't fast advance out. I don't think we're going to want to draw 4, but it's actually good to keep in our pocket. It's less likely that we'll need tag prevention. Pretty sure MK11 has rollback. It doesn't filter for Wi-Fi though. Ooh, rough. That's so weird where it just says makes mandatory start a turn. Just chilling. How's it going? I'm a new Netrunner viewer. I love your videos. Would you make some videos where you deck build and play system gateway only? Keep up the good work. Manta Grid. Yeah, cheers. Okay, they scored that. I think that's something we want to do. I've not had enough time to dedicate to this channel the way that it needs to. I'm not making excuses. I just want to make it very clear that it takes a lot of time to make the review videos. And so like I'm dedicating usually a day and a half every week or every 2 weeks to making those. So it's kind of difficult to have time for other stuff as well. I would love to. I really would. And I think that's the sort of thing that we're going to do after we finish the system gateway reviews, is like do system gateway deck building, do replay reviews, stuff like that. But it's just a matter of time at this point, unfortunately. I think if I streamed more and we just did it live, that might be like, you know, somewhere in the middle between the best we can do. So it's not like high production value, but hopefully the ideas are still there. This is an Iki, by the way. So we in theory could draw. I'll pay 1 to draw 2. It's fine. Oh shit, we have an Apocalypse. 5 to steal this at the cost of an Apocalypse. Yeah. Now we're on game point. Punitive, they don't have the credits. We lost our last APOC. I think we should run a cube. They have 8 credits. Firing Snare hurts them bad. Yeah, 100%. That's why we wanted to do that. We just wanted our breakers. So we could just draw once. We get a free draw from this point if we want. If we run back, we die to Snare, let alone have some knives into Snare is a problem. I'm just going to draw twice and get ready for the future. It's amazing. Melee's bigger now than any time since the documentary. Single advance. Are we scared of single advance? I don't think so. Take your time. Thanks once again. Love the content. Yo, I appreciate it. I really do. It's very kind you take some time to say some nice things. We have VRcation. Oh yeah, we do. We do. We could have just played that. You're right. But then we'd overdraw, right? So single advance, so the worst that this could be is 3 damage from an Urtica. And I don't think we're that worried of them scoring things at this point. So I think we just run HQ and see the single card. Now the problem of Mwanza is if they res Mwanza, like we could VR-cation, run R&D, hit Mwanza, and have a big chance of winning the game, but also a small chance of losing the game. They have seamless launches? Wait, do we know that? Do we know they have seamless launches? How do we know they have seamless launches? Like, I think it might be okay to VR-cation and just run R&D. Because if they res Mwanza, the chance of us connecting with an Obokata is relatively high. The chance of us connecting with double snare, though, is also kind of high. I'm just going to do it. Seamless often gets played. Okay, so we're assuming they have seamless. Oh, they House and I with a seamless. Because there's a seamless here. Oh, that's a big point. Yeah, it could actually be a 5-3. No, that is a legit thing. And that means Ronin also can be scary on this board state. They drew it and played seamless. Oh, weird. That is a weird turn order. So let's see if they res the Mwanza. Yeah. Oh, it's a Hokusai. Okay, so we're not that scared of this. We lost a Harbinger. It's a Spin Doctor. We're going to trash that. We'll trash the Hokusai. So now we have more cards than common sense. So we're going to discard things, so we might as well run server 2, I think. If they hit us with an Urtica, it's fine. We'll discard anyways. Is it just me, or is it 3 weeks in a row of Deck of the Week runner? Andre plays against PE, managed hit points in the deck, doesn't matter. It's happened pretty consistently, but like PE is... There's a lot of new players into the game right now. I'm not saying that they are a new player specifically. We don't know. But I think PE is like just a really fun part of Netrunner that a lot of people like to interact with. I think we just paint this. I don't want to do this. 2... It's like 4 to use Ika on it, or it's the same with Ngolo, or it's about the same. What are they naming? Event, okay. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not totally surprised. I think it's an Urtica here. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Oh, it's a GFI. Color me surprised. Now we're on game point. We've stolen 3 points. Punitive is a possibility. In theory. Oh, we have no more clicks. Okay. Funny how that is. Yeah, GFIs are like pretty surprising. That makes me think more likely that they're on punitive list. They might be running just like Obokatas and GFIs and then House of Knives. I think the 3-pointer plan makes more sense with Seamless as well. And that might make more sense also if they're running a lot of 3-pointers, why this is a Hokusai and not a Mwanza. So I'm not entirely surprised, but a bit surprised. I think it's just like House of Knives and Punies on these. Yo, Anon, how's it going? I have 2 friends who play Netrunner, but everyone else only wants to play Magic. If only they knew how great the game is. Yo, you gotta let them try it. Have you got them the time? Show it to them. This game usually speaks for itself. Just in terms of like the openness of what you can do on your turn, it seems wild. Okay, so single advanced, unadvanced card. Again, it could be a House of Knives. We are on game points, just no matter what we access largely. And we always can like Panic Artist Colony, but I don't know what we would do that for. Second Ngolo if we need to. So I'm just going to click for 3, I think. I don't think we have to do anything this turn. We have 1 card in hand. I just went 1-1 against my wife. She did not manage to flatline me this time. Yo, Dungeon, let's go. Oh, it's another spin. Okay. Not getting flatlined is nice. I collected called her snares and Urtica Cypher. Oh, you're playing with snares too. Let's go. Wet Geeks, how's it going? It's hard to convert Magic players. They're usually invested, and it's hard to get them on other things. On that note, talking about investment, I tried out Flesh and Blood this week. If y'all want to talk about it, it's kind of interesting because it's like a really weird thing right now in the world of card games. So we could run archives for sure, but we do know that the 1 card that is in there is an Urtica Cypher. Unless they shuffled it in, which I don't think they did. HQ, we get a free runoff, and it's 1 card in there, so it's more likely than anything to be a snare. I think we just want to run R&D. Like, they have 8 credits, so maybe there was like Ike into Engram, and that would be annoying. We also don't have to do much here. Tell us your thoughts about it. Yeah, we'll do it after the game. MTG players have some deep sunk cost problems. It's hard to let go. Yeah, it definitely is. It's a pretty expensive game. Collections are very valuable, so it's hard to push off to something else. But people do it. And I don't think you can only play 1 game exclusively. Like you can do a bunch of things. All right, we're just gonna hit the money card. This is an upgrade, right? Fab is where all my card game friends have gone. Really, Soldier? It's weird because it's like something that's getting a lot of press and a lot of attention. But then if you look at like the Reddit, there's like 5,000 people in it, which is like the same size as Netrunner, if not a lot smaller, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's on Facebook and Discord. As an ex-Magic player, I'd tell you that one thing does not exclude the other. Yeah, totally. Like I play a whole bunch of games, none as much as Netrunner. Obviously, I make Netrunner content, and I would go to Netrunner World Championship. I don't think there's any other game I'd do that, but it's the idea. How expensive is the serviceable Netrunner collection nowadays? Free. It's literally free. You can print and play. Proxies are allowed. You can go to World Championship and not pay $1. It's 100% free. Oh, good game. Hey, GG. All right, that's our Apocalypse list. We got 3 Apocalypse, 3 games absolutely dominated, unbeatable, Shaper deck. We won 1. And we're gonna thanks for the game, eh? Anon people tend to believe that internet more than advice from friends, so just find a great review video that usually gets them instead. Oh, in terms of like getting people into Netrunner, yeah, I think that's a good point. To be fair, my friends were L5R LCG players. Yeah, it's a bummer that that fell apart eventually. All right, we're gonna do some quick news stuff. Oh, what am I moving here? I'm moving something that isn't there. Well, it does definitely cost to make physical proxies and time and materials. Oh, yes, 100%. It costs you time and materials, but I'd argue that if you're crafty enough, you could get things done for free. Like you could draw out all your cards. You could, if you had just like, you can get free Magic commons or however Magic works, the stuff that they give out at stores, and you could, you know, write on them. So it's technically possible. You're right. I think majority of people are going to get into the game and get the cards printed. The system gateway cost about $40, which is really great. And we're going to be talking about Flesh and Blood in a second. So like that's amazingly accessible. And you can play all of Startup for about maybe $200 Canadian. I think you can get all of Startup. Maybe that's even a bit high, which is fantastic. Or again, print and play. So but he did buy into Flesh and Blood not to play, so I don't know. I have a friend who basically turned speculating on MTG a second job, so he isn't leaving. Yeah, exactly. Free if I use my office as printer, I have printed Netrunner proxies at work for free. I've heard weird things about FFB availability. Okay, let's talk a second about Flesh and Blood, because Flesh and Blood is very weird, and a lot of people are talking about it. So Flesh and Blood is a TCG made by a studio, I don't know their name, but it's from New Zealand. And this is the sort of thing that a lot of people are talking about right now. It's been out for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Don't fact check me on that. And a lot of people are really into it. And specifically, there's a lot of talk right now. There's a lot of like ex-Magic players that are going into this. I just want to put everything Legend Story Studio. Oh, thanks, Paper Cave. How's it going, by the way? How's the streams? I just want to say first up, I'm not a Magic player, so I don't know much about this. I don't know too much about the economy of this game. Well, about certain aftermarket stuff. But I can tell you about my experience with this game. So just about every game that I hear hype about that I hear is pretty good, I want to try and play the game on the basis that that it's just cool. It's just cool to know what's going on in the game space, to understand what's like marketable, to understand mechanics and themes, stuff like that. Like that thing is important to me. I want to play as many games as I can to be somebody who can better talk or even eventually make games. Like I think that's great. So I want to try Flesh and Blood. And Flesh and Blood had these starter decks at some point in time. Starter decks, I think Iro is called, that they would give you for free, these welcome decks to learn the game. And one of the cool things about Flesh and Blood is that there's like 2 formats to the game. There's standard Flesh and Blood, and then there's a format called Blitz. And the only difference between Blitz and standard is you play visually a younger version of the hero, and you have half the hit points, half the health. But basically, this was a deck that could teach you how to play the game you could get for free. Now, the problem with this game, it came out around the time about the pandemic, and availability was very difficult to get, let alone it was coming from New Zealand. So it was very difficult for a lot of people to get, and it's almost impossible to get these welcome decks. I tried this deck on Tabletop Simulator a couple of weeks ago with my brother, and I thought it was very simple, and I didn't find it to be very interesting. And that's why I decided Flesh and Blood is just not for me. Now, since that, a new set came out called Monarch. This is like their sets. They have a couple sets that have different titles, and each set has like 300 or so cards in it. And Monarch has recently come out. And one of the cool things about Monarch is it comes with things called Blitz decks. And these are pre-constructed decks that you can purchase. I purchased mine actually from this store, Hobbiesville, which is in Kemptville, Ontario, I think. And these are pre-constructed decks. Everyone gets the same stuff. And it's a 40 card deck that you can play out of the box. And it there's 4 of them in 4 different identities. So this is what I wanted to pick up because I want to try Flesh and Blood. I want to try the new stuff, and this I picked up for the $60 and got all of them. And I've been having a lot of fun with this. And it's to understand what Flesh and Blood is it's basically it's a 1v1 fighting game, which each person represents some sort of warrior, and then you have a deck of cards, and then you're using these cards to mount attacks, and your opponent can defend, and it goes back and forth. But one of the cool things about Flesh and Blood one of the really cool things about Flesh and Blood is that the way that you can use the cards is actually really flexible. It's kind of similar to Marvel Champions if you played that, where every card on its own can be thrown out to generate the resources you to pay for other cards. Also, you can always use most of your cards to also block attacks. So basically when you're holding a hand of 4 cards, you don't know how you're going to use those cards, whether you're going to use them to interact with your opponent attacking you, whether you're going to use them for resources to play your other cards. It's kind of interesting, and you end up at the end of your turn you always draw back up to 4, so you end up going through your deck pretty quickly, and your cards have a lot of value. And for that reason, it's really cool. All the abilities in Monarch are pretty interesting. They're actually like way more diverse and complicated, but not overly complicated. And they have different strategies and they feel uniquely different. And I think that's swell. I think that's really, really cool. In terms of the game that I'm playing at the kitchen table that I bought for $65, I'm really stoked. And if you want to play more of that, there's a lot of stores that will sell you like pauper decks, pre-constructed decks that the store or an eBay person will put together for about $13 Canadian, which they will take an identity and then like mostly common cards, tape that together and send it to you. And that's a really approachable way to get into the game. And I've actually picked up some of those and they're in the mail so that I can try Flesh and Blood by paying, $20. Now, normally how the game is distributed is in things like this, boxes that have packs, and each pack has like 15 cards in it, and it costs $4. So if you want to buy a box, it's like $106. And again, it has all the problems of any other Magic type game where you don't know what you're getting. There's randomness. And some of these cards from some of these packs sell on the aftermarket, the speculative market, for tens of thousands of dollars, which is fucking ludicrous. But that's the thing that like I don't get, and I don't think I'd ever get into this game just on the basis of how it's distributed. Like if I want to spend $106, I don't know what decks I'll be able to build. Sure, you can buy this and play draft or sealed or stuff like that, and that's really cool. It's important to know I'm not a Magic person, and a lot of people don't mind this sort of cost and find opening random packs to be exciting because they can resell the packs or the cards in it and even make money off of it. Like some people do that as a full-time job, and that's not my thing. But the idea that like I can spend $106 and still not get what I want, to me is crazy from someone who plays Netrunner and a bunch of other cards like this. Admittedly, I've spent hundreds of dollars on things like Arkham Horror at this point, but it's still great. 10K for a Flesh and Blood card. I think the highest I've seen is a card sold for $36,000. Flesh and Blood, cold foil, what's it called? Eye of something, whatever. Eye of Ophidia, stuff like this. Like these sell for 10, 15, 25,000. And yeah, 36,000. Look at this. And like, this is stupid. This is straight up stupid. I don't get it. It's worth noting that the way that they release cards is a lot of people are complaining about this to some extent. How it works, a lot of sets are released as a first edition, and these first editions aren't being sold for MSRP. So the idea is like, I think we'll be able to see it if we go to this store. I'm not affiliated with the store at all. It's just where I bought the stuff from. But so for this game, the prices have been a bit absurd, and I think they're going to come down. Like, again, I know nothing about this. Don't listen to me. But it seems like a lot of people are getting into this game, and availability really sucked over the last while. So the cost of these things are probably massively inflated. I don't know. Look at the market if you really want to. Like, the store was selling things for like $850. But a lot of times you'd see this. Is that sets were released in 2 ways. One, a first edition wave of the set that would come out a month before, and these things would have slightly different, not slightly different cards in them, but they would have cold foils, which is a certain like hollow foiling of card that only showed up in the first editions. If you waited a month, you could get the unlimited edition, which they would have an unlimited print run of it. And there's a problem here from what I've seen as an outsider, is if you want to play competitively, it's in your best interest to get the cards sooner, which means you're paying $400 for a box as opposed to $100 for a box. And even then still, it's random what you get in it. But cards like this specifically are so inflated in the cost because they come from first edition printings, which are very limited. Inherently, those cards aren't different than the ones that come in the unlimited printing, besides the fact it's a cold foil, so the foiling looks a bit different, but people pay for these, right? That's largely it in terms of my point. I don't know what Constructed looks like. I don't know what the tournament scene looks like because it's largely, I don't know if it exists right now in North America considering the limitations of in-person play. In New Zealand, they've been doing a lot better job than here. But in terms of the distribution model, there's like, that's the thing with this game is like, if you want to play competitively from what I've seen, and I could be wrong about this, is that there's like some staple tunic of, I don't know what it's called. There's some staple cards that are pretty good, and I don't think you need them to be competitive, but I think they make your deck better. But this card sells for like $300. Now, a cool thing about this card as an equipment, it's flexible, so you can play it in multiple decks, and Magic players might not care as much as I do about these things because you can always resell the card. But again, for someone who's not into like random unboxings and paying the same amount for a single card as I could for a whole collection of things, let alone a whole board game, this makes no sense to me, and I'll never engage with it. But in terms of like buying the Monarch decks and playing it as a game on the casual table, or paying $13 to buy a pre-constructed Blitz deck from some local game store that's made of mostly commons, game's actually pretty fun. I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would, and that's fun. I'm excited to play more of it this weekend with Maddie. It's cool. It's definitely cool. It's just the way that's being sold. To me, I'm not going to engage with that because it doesn't make sense for me. But again, if it's for you, that's totally cool. A lot of people really care about this, and a lot of people are very excited about the future of this game. But just the model for me, you know, that's it. Let me just catch up on chat. Are these pricey cards just rare, or are they also mechanically good? It's usually both. And that's the thing, is like some of the best cards are very rare and also very good and very flexible. The game has an equipment system, and the game has typed things, like typed cards. So the idea is like one of the good chase cards right now is very expensive, and it's the quote unquote best headpiece helmet that a ninja subtype character can wear. So if you're playing the ninja class, you're very likely to want to go and spend $400 for this. In the benefit of the game, I don't know if this is considered for the benefit, because it's like saying the best thing about unnecessary surgery to some extent, right? Like it's a lot of the legendaries are capped at 1 per deck. So you don't have to buy a full set like maybe you do in Magic and buy that 4 times, but you know, not for me. Valently, how's it going? I played on the Magic Pro Tour, but I recognize there's so much better out there. My friends who still play are quite exclusive. Oh yeah, about Magic in general. They're not meant for competitive play. They're not even that good. They're just for collectors. Yeah, a lot of the rarest cards, like the fabled cards, which are coming like 1 in every 1,000 packs, those aren't competitively good, but they're generally mechanically unique. My friend just got a set not to play or even open, just to sit on a year and sell it. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are buying in this game, just like MTG, as like a speculative market. And the speculative market for card games has exploded this last year because of Magic, because of people being stuck indoors, because people getting extra money with like stimulus checks, but also because people are realizing they can sell their Pokemon cards. There's like huge articles right now of like Vice. What's that it's called, the PSA grading Pokemon. I was reading this article. Yeah, Vice was talking about like how the grading systems, the companies that you send cards to grade the cards, to basically talk about how valuable the cards are, they're so goofed up right now. They have like backlogs of 8 months. If you send them a card that's worth like $30,000, they say we won't be able to look at this for 8 months, just because the world has exploded with people grading like Pokemon cards. Have you tried to buy top loaders? Top loaders are these sort of things that like you put cards in to protect them. They're like sold out everywhere. The only way to buy them is like on Amazon, and it's like buy 2 top loaders for $30 when they're usually like $1 a piece. Like it's wild. I also heard there's a bit of trouble with card recognition because you have cards with the same name but different numbers. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, sort of. I see what you mean. Yeah. So actually, that's a cool thing about Flesh and Blood, I think, is in Flesh and Blood, the same named card will come in sometimes in 3 versions. And there's a red, a yellow, and a blue version. The red version, you can throw out from your hand to get 1 resource. The blue version, you can throw out for 3 resources. The yellow is 2 in the middle. And when you deck build, you can have any amount, you can have up to 3, I believe, of the same card, but not specifically for a color. So you can have 3 of the same color on red, on yellow, and on blue. And it's not that the blue ones are strictly better, because the blue ones that you throw out for more resources, they'll generally do 1 less damage or 2 less damage than the red and yellow counterparts. And I think that's kind of interesting. To build a deck, it's not only what cards, but what versions of cards for what kind of, you know, like energy mana curves. I think that's actually pretty neat. I feel uncomfortable right now. Black Lotus is much higher, 15 to 500k. Woo! But you can't even play with Black Lotus, right? Like you can play with these cards. Black Lotus is just a collector card, right? Top 2 decks are comparable to MTG decks in terms of cost, yeah. Best using the TTS mod. Yes, that's like the TTS mod is sick. You can import decks from their NetRunnerDB. You can play for free and try out the game. It's actually kind of nice. The gameplay is more fun than Keyforge. I'd be excited to play it if I had the Keyforge model. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Keyforge model either. I feel the same way about Keyforge as I do about Flesh and Blood. As a casual game, I'm enjoying it. So like last Christmas, Board Game Bliss, the website, sold us a whole box of like 12 decks from one of the old expansions for $5. Or I picked up a whole box of the original print run for $40 because they don't sell well and it's old. And it's a $40 thing that has 12 decks in it that we can randomly pick and play. Like that's really fun. But I'm not into like the tournament setting where I want to go and buy the best decks. Like it doesn't make sense to me. The original NFTs. Once I discovered Netrunner, I could never go back to Magic. It's backdoor gambling. Yeah, I know. Country Mouse, how's it going? I see that. It is gambling. And I'm like, I understand why that's so compelling. That like the idea that I could buy this box for $100 and find a card in it that's worth $500. Like that is a hell of a drug. Pokemon cards are investment for some people. Yeah, no, it's huge, Garlic. There's a lot of money to be made. This person is talking about that they were just selling their Pokemon cards that they had casually as a kid, and they've already made thousands of dollars. Yeah, like they said they were doing really well. They said, yeah, I have not been to sell my most valuable cards yet, and I've already made more than 3,000. That's American dollars too, so that's like 20,000 Canadian, I think. People talk about all the cards and card games that sell a lot, but I want to see the data on card games that have prices collapse. Yeah, Dungeon, I don't know whether it's a bubble. Like, I'm not big on the speculative market, but I feel like the value of these cards must be volatile, considering one of the big issues with Flesh and Blood was accessibility to cards, and that's changing. Like, that's another thing, too. We talked about how the Blitz decks for Monarch are so cool, and Flesh and Blood used to have Blitz decks for the older sets, but those were a limited print run, and so now they're impossible to get. Like one of the best entry point products for the game are now selling on the secondary market for like $90 a deck. And that sucks ass in terms of like accessibility. And I love that if you want to try Flesh and Blood, you can get a pretty good Blitz deck now for $12 like I did, you know? Black Lotus was banned. Right. Oh God, I just realized I'm sitting next to a holographic Blastoise. You should check it out. It's like totally wild. Go to eBay, I don't know how eBay works. Go to Pokemon and you can search by like recently sold. I don't know how you do it, but like check the stuff out. It's like very consistently things are selling and moving for like a lot of money. Like, oh, this Pokemon Celebi promo, $90. Like this is going to sell. There's a huge market. Keyforge is the best casual game. I usually buy a couple of decks from each set at a battle box. Yeah, that's probably how I engage with it. I think Keyforge tournaments are about finding the worst deck. There's actually a tournament, from my understanding, Keyforge, where you bring your worst deck, and then when you sit down, you give it to your opponent. It's really funny. Having a bunch of random box Keyforge decks to hand to people is a fun thing. Yeah, it is. It's neat. It's neat. I at least don't think MTG cards or gacha games should be treated any different than casinos. Yeah, I hear you with that. To some extent, I hear you. And again, if Flesh and Blood had a model that was closer to like Netrunner, I would be very interested in playing competitively. Speaking of secondary markets, anybody willing to unload their Netrunner collection for 2K? Solomir, are you asking? Because like, okay, this is the thing. Somebody asked on Reddit looking for a Netrunner collection for 2K. And I had some conversations with some friends, the friends that we play Arkham with on Wednesday nights about that question. And I think there are people who are getting into the speculative trading of Netrunner, what's it called? Collections. Like I think there's people that believe that the value of a Netrunner collection is going to increase. So buying one now and then selling it in 5 years is going to be a good investment on money. And I don't know about that, obviously, because the legality of cards is going to be sweeping, like going to change. So I'm not sure. Oh, I'm really behind on chat. I am uncomfortable. Can we talk about something else? Yeah, we'll talk about something else right now. Well, once I catch up with the chat, I'm pretty close to the bottom. The hype is a bit high for the actual benefit. Buying 15,000 of cards to be able to sell a few cards for 3K is not actually profitable, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I imagine there's fun to be had in that. Like if you want to buy speculatively invest in cards, and I've seen YouTube videos of people being like, I bought this for this much money, I sold a couple of Magic binders, but I think this is going to sell for this much more money in this much time. And some people are correct, and some people are making a lot of money off of that. But it's the same with any sort of like, you know, investment like that. There's a lot of people that fail that as well, and that you need to keep that in mind. If you watch a YouTube video of somebody who made 10 grand off of a good trade, there's a lot of people that, you know, not only overextend but also fail, so that's doubly bad. So, you know, it's not my game. It's so weird that 99% of buyers are not players. Yeah, that's also a really strange thing in terms of accessibility, that it's not players who are into it. It's just buyers. And then they're just driving up the price for the sake of driving up the price. Like the idea is that the game and the accessibility of the game are two totally separate things that are not even in conversation, which angers me. Or not angers me, it you know, it's off-putting for sure. Yeah, we're doing NBN, but we have tags actually. Let's talk about this deck. Let's get off of this topic. Could we do Rig Shooter NBN? I guess you could. Okay, so this is a deck I built. I think we have to cut 2 cards from here, but let's talk about the strat here. Pokemon cards are never about the game. Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it is. People do play the Pokemon card game competitively, though, and I hope they're having a great time. Manta Grid alert. Yeah, okay, so Near Earth Hub is back, and Near Earth Hub is really fun. Technically. 17 Influence, a really strong ability. This was a surprise return to the standard card pool. Now, I wanted to build a deck that basically puts out a lot of things really quickly. Link for the deck. I'll be able to share once we're updated, and I'll add it into Keyhole, so you get it in a second once we're done with it. But the idea here is that I wanted to build a deck originally that would basically put out a lot of things in the remotes, and we would never advance all this stuff. Sometimes it would be a trap, sometimes it would be a snare, a prize sec, and then we'd have things like false leads. And if the runner ended their turn with a tag, we could do something terrible to them. It's the sort of deck I loved back in the day. I had good fond memories of playing this against my brother with things like TG, TBT, snare, stuff like that. Now I tried to build the deck and I couldn't figure it out, so we kind of pivoted, and I want to play a really interesting card, which is Manta Grid. Manta Grid seems so fun. It's not particularly good. This is standard, yes. But it's a very cheap res to trash cost ratio. And if the runner accesses this or ends the turn hitting this with less than 6 credits, so 5 or less, it's slightly different wording than white space for unknown reasons, you have an additional click to spend on our next turn. That's actually really interesting, because with 3 Manta Grids on top of, everything else we're trying to do that they need to trash and interact with, you can just put this on top of anything. So the idea is that they trash a DBS or a Jeeves or whatever, and then they hit this, and then they have less than that much money, and which also makes it difficult to trash the Manta Grid itself. If they trash this, mind you, you don't get the ability. But if they basically interact with this at the wrong time, we get another click. Now, this card is pretty janky and by no means going to be competitive or reliable, but the idea is that we have a lot of things for them to trash. Maybe we want more Mamba Adventure Tours, because if they access them in the right order with Manta Grid, it could be awful. And then the idea is with this many abilities to fast advance, whether it's the Manta Grid, whether it's the Sansan City Grid, we should be able to score out almost all our agendas from hand. We have things like AR Enhanced Security, Project Beal, Tomorrow's Headline. All this stuff can be scored from hand. We unfortunately can't protect a Sansan City Grid with a Manta Grid, because you can't put 2 regions in the same server. But the idea is that we want to go fast, go wide, and if they ever misstep into any of our traps, we can actually fast advance out of it. I cut prize sex and stuff. We also have hard-hitting news, which is cool tech, because if they take the tags on, then psychographics is also a real way to close the game. Is there a way to nudge people to run as a last action? The only way that you can nudge them really is by slowing them down, or by putting a lot of things on the table. You used to have cards like Ronald 5 that encouraged you to run last click because they would make you lose clicks. And you also had cards like Currents that would do it, but I don't think there's anything inherently that does that. Been loving your System Gateway overview, such quality content. Oh, cheers, Paper. Glad you've been liking it. Do we have any APOC tech? We only sort of have APOC tech. Like APOC tech could be like AR Enhanced Security. I think if we get APOC, it's not the end of the world. We also have Ping, which can be annoying, so we can give them 2 tags on the turn of the Apocalypse if it's like Ping into AR Enhanced Security. Also, like if they access Manta Grid, or like we can hopefully go a bit faster. But you're right, APOC could just run us over, but we're just hoping that we don't get to that. Mason Bellamy plus Highland Good, I think, was one you could only run last click. Yeah, but both of those cards unfortunately rotated. False Lead is a thing, and I cut False Lead from this list because I think we actually want to use Manta Grid to win the game, not just score a False Lead to slow them down. But False Lead could work in this sort of idea. I just think it's pretty bad to sack a False Lead to make them hit Manta Grid. Now, there's other things in here. This whole Advanced Assembly Lines, these came from like what were called old Russian NEH decks. And this card's actually kind of strong within NEH because the idea is when your turn ends on the runner's turn, you can use this to trash to install. And then if you do that, you actually get a card draw because Near Earth Hub says if you install a new remote first time a turn. So you can do it on the runner's card a turn to draw more. It also lets us, in theory, protect things with other things, but you can't do it mid-run. So it's not like they can run a Jeeves and be like, I'm going to drop a Manta Grid on here. So there's 2 problems. We have 2 influence left over, and we have 51 cards. I don't know what to do with the last 2 influence. We could play maybe some better ice. Maybe we just play a Nico campaign and call it a day. I think if we could play political dealings in this deck, we would. I just don't know how. It's also 4 influence. So we got to figure this out. Maybe a deck with Manta card and cards that drain their actions. There's just not that much that do it. For what it's worth, actually, there is Miss Jenkins. And Miss Jenkins does give them a click fewer, but this is just kind of a liability. But this is a really strong card if you trick them into running a Manta last. Are we going to cut cards? Mumba seems lacking. Mumba's actually really, really good because this deck doesn't have economy. Like a problem with this deck is probably we don't have enough economy. So like we can't afford to early res daily business shows. Tiered subscription maybe could be like a pad campaign. Maybe we run more of these, but we don't have hedge funds. So having early economy, especially like a Mamba Temple that lets us red for free. Oh, MVT. MVT I think seemed important in the list on the basis that we want to get their credits low so we can scare them with the hard-hitting news into psychographics and or Manta Grid stuff. I cut from 3 to 2, but I like this because it maintains the idea of a trap deck. At a fully op, it's good econ. Fully op is like a lot of influence, and on top of that, we don't ice our remotes too heavily. Yeah, I don't know. Hengeki? Yeah, sads. I don't even know what that card does. It forces them to access something, right? Play on it. Choose an installed corp card. The runner may access that card if he or she does remove Hengeki from the game. So this doesn't help us win. But on top of it, it doesn't help us do anything because it's not access Manta Grid. It is end run on the server, so it doesn't do anything. Seamless launch I don't think is a great inclusion because it doesn't let us fast advance. We're going to be fast advancing. Like our Jeeves does what seamless launch does as well. That's the idea. Only 10 ice? Yeah, 10 ice is normal. We're not going to ice most of this stuff. Like that's maybe even high for an NEH list. Did someone say Daily Quest? Daily Quest is a problem though. Daily Quest gives them credits, that goes against the other. Well, Daily Quest is, if you don't ice Daily Quest, like they win. Like you need to glacier this up. You need to ice this up. It's a huge liability. Hengeki forces access to advanced trap. Yeah, we don't have any advanced traps though. Clearing Urtica, those are cards that don't work with our win condition. Like I never loved the idea of putting Urtica in or a clearinghouse. Things that like, if this would be the only part of our deck that's trying to kill the runner. And generally if you're trying to kill the runner, you could do it by surprise. That is true. Maybe a snare would be better. But more importantly, you want to have more of your deck running towards that win condition. Having one cheesy Urtica in the deck that you spend 2 credits and 2 advancements on. Again, there's not many things we'd install advanced. It just doesn't make sense to me. Any idea when Nisei will be all standard? 2 years? I don't know. Snare is sick. Yeah, Snare's not bad. It's just we don't have the economy to support it. We really don't. Maybe we can just put in a bankers. This is 2 influence, right? Yeah, it's probably good. A single snare puts a runner on edge. It does. I just don't think there's a lot of board states where we can afford it. We have to cut some cards though. What are we cutting? I think we might want to cut a Sansan because I don't think we're going to be able to afford it. Diogene Funhouse is like not amazing because we're not going to be able to afford it. Like we could res a Sansan or res a Funhouse, and if we hit the Funhouse, they just end the run. Like a deck like this doesn't want to spend 5 credits to score or res a Funhouse unless you're also going in on things like specifically Quantum Predictive Model. And there were like CTM lists that cared more about that. Sanjay, what's up? Are you going to put in a random kill card with no support? Go with Brainstorm IMO. Yeah, I think that's also a really good point. But nobody. That's not a fun Netrunner for anyone, is it? Does that look sweet? It is. It's just too big. We have to cut 2 cards, Jogging. We have to, right? Let's jam. We can't. It's illegal. They won't let us. They'll yell at us. So let's cut 2 cards. So I'm going to cut. I don't want to cut economy. So maybe we cut. We could consider cutting 1 Jeeves. That doesn't seem amazing. I think the Mani Sanai is by no means necessary. So we could definitely cut this. And then maybe we can cut 1 piece of ice. You want a lot of assets because you want to be drawing of turn. Jua for the jank? Oh, Jua is honestly not a bad card. I'm going to try Jua over Turnpike. Actually, I like that card a fair bit. It doesn't get enough play. It's not good in the early game. How necessary is MVT for controlling the runner econ? I don't know, Solomir. The biggest thing is I enjoy MVT. That's the biggest thing. But I honestly don't know. 1 card. Anyone got any smart ideas? Maybe we could cut a slot machine. I don't know. I had to corporate troubleshoot a 30 strength brainstorm at Polana this morning. Yikes. Turnpike is great for Psycho. Yeah, Turnpike is honestly pretty good for Psycho. That's true. Yeah, maybe actually Turnpike is just better. We'll try Jua and then we'll change it. I'm not a fan of MVT. Rather see 3rd Jeeves or 3rd Mamba for consistency. Yeah, no, I think that's the consensus a lot of times with Mamba Virtual Tour is like a lot of times it's better just to have a 5 credit card that does something for you actively and forces them to trash it. But I want to trick someone into trashing this at a wrong time so that we hard hitting use them. Less ping. I love ping. I think ping is such a strong card. I don't want to cut this. This is one of our very few unconditional end the runs. We only have 4 on the deck. So I don't want to cut a ping. I'd rather cut an IP block. I honestly think keeping the Maya over the tiered sub to help with conduit. Yeah, Money's really good. Fuck, I like Amani a lot. Amani like really forces him to deal with something. Tiered sub can go. We just put the money back in. This is honestly money for our deck that's going to struggle for money. Man, cutting 1 card is so hard. Would slotting Econ Warfare be better than MVT? I don't think so. MVT is good because it's like an Econ Warfare plus, but it also gives us a card draw. It also lets us protect our assets. Having spending 2 influence on an Econ Warfare is, if we would do that, we'd play 3 Econ Warfare and then we'd be more into the hard hitting news plan. Drop a ping. Pad, Nasex better. Nasex is better than Pad. Yeah, you're right. Can Byroad cards be used with Manta? They can, but we probably won't. But yeah, we could put Eli's on the list for sure. Can you afford to go to 1x Psycho? I don't know. I think I'd rather cut an IP block than Enigma. We'll try this. I feel like this might be too little ice. Let's see what the first draw looks like. If you're on Mumble Temple, then tiered sub loses a lot of the upside. Sort of. Yeah, kind of. I don't think that's a big enough reason. It's not like Pad campaign's better for the deck if you run Mumba. So this is our opening hand. This is good, right? Like we put this in a remote. Yeah, so that draws us a card. I'd probably try to sneak this out and then sneak this out. And then on their turn, I would use this to install this, to put this down. Yeah, this is a brilliant deck. What are we calling it? I want to call it, oh, we called it a Yellow Ray. I think that's what because of the Manta Grid. God, we're so clever. Don't Byroad drain the runner from clicks? They can. The problem is like, okay, what are Byroads doing in our deck? Like Eli was a good Byroad in these sort of NEH decks because it was just a taxing card for the influence cost for the res cost. Now taxing clicks is definitely important, but then like, it's something that you can't rush behind. So you want your Byroads generally on central servers, because if you put an Eli on the remote server, if there's an agenda, they can click through it. And you're right, at that point, like maybe it's just not necessary. I think we have taxing enough ice. 3MX Mamba, we'll do Sling Gray, I like that. Less DBS? No, DBS is amazing. I'm excited to see Manta work or fail. It's probably not gonna work. It'd be entertaining. I haven't seen much Manta play ever. I have not ever seen it trigger, so I want to try it. Import deck. We can't import from this, can we? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this into we're gonna change the deck. Like we're not gonna just play once and it's gonna fall apart and we'll be like, deck sucks. Like we'll be able to edit it. Okay, so Keyhole will update itself if you just give it a bit. And in the meantime, we will put this in JNet. Court. MBN, nearest hub. Wait, near hub doesn't start with MBN? Oh, neat. Manta Grid won regionals, beat Dandy in grand finals. Do you know what that anecdote looks like? If you want to activate Manta, yeah, but the problem is like it's very hard. Like, okay, so Manta on its own is very tricky because even if they have no clicks left, well, actually I don't know how it works, but the idea is like we need to get this Byroad Ice, which is not amazing for our game plan, on a remote server. We need to get a Manta Grid behind our remote server. They need to click through the Manta Grid. Like it's asking us to do a lot for our influence just to hope it works out. And I think that's like in most games that's not going to line up. And even some of the games that does line up, it's not going to be as good. I think the last time I saw Manta Grid in action, someone won a big event with it without actually understanding how the card worked. Justin ran and built it, but Justin will run anything. And I don't mean that as an insult for Justin. Justin is one of the very, very interesting deck builder. But like, I think if Justin runs it, you know it is a weird card by definition. Yeah, Sate 0, yeah. I think you missed an E in there. All right, Reina, that's interesting. Hey. I don't know what that means. So we have a good opening. We have a good econ opening, which is something you definitely want against Reina. Reina could be an Apocalypse deck, so, you know, that's going to be a problem. I think me and Ned Jogging are talking about the same event. Offrey Can't Refuse is really good with Manta and 2-pointers. It rotated, though. Right. Okay, so we're going to keep this. That's a really good hand. Classic Elemental. I'm not that aware. All right, best of luck. All right, so we're gonna open with some assets. This is Reina. Our first dice is one more to res. So we'll go new remote. We want to get that scored. That's for sure. Early in the game, they could hit us with that, what's it called? 3 credit. Now we'll put this on HQ, I guess. We'll res this. And then at the beginning of their turn, we'll pop this. That's when his runner was a Justin Matrix Deus Ex DDM, wasn't it? I played this deck versus San Francisco the other day. With the Reina? So I'm going to pop this. We'll install... I think we want the Daily Business Show. We can afford it. That draws us a card, which is good. Working at a game store, Pokemon product has started going down in price with increased printing. I expect the hype to die, but slowly. Yeah, ooh, that's a problem. That seems like it would be apocalypse if anything. So we can res both of these. We want to control our hand. We have a Manta Grid. We definitely want to get that. It's also important to know we can put this on R&D. That honestly might not be the worst thing we got. So new remote. We'll do new remote and we'll put this on R&D. I don't think we need to use this. We could consider it. This is actually really good with Daily Business Show. Because advanced assembly lines to install double draw fires off Daily Business Show. So we'll res ping to give them a tag. We spent 3 on that. They can go through this if they really want to. They're meant to protect themselves from APOC? Yeah, sort of. They're playing knifed. Okay, thinking. So do we want to draw to hide this? Yeah, I think we do. It looks like we're going to get the AR as well. So they might be going tag me. So I'm going to res this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, excuse me. My bad. Whoops. All good. Yeah, that's a mistake. Because now they know to run server 4 if anything. That's a huge mistake. Did they break it? Yeah, because now like they know to run server 4 if anything. Bluffing snare. Yeah, but they're not going to access though because they're using eater. Hey, are they here? What happened? Pop after this click? Yeah, we could do that for sure. They can't access here. So now we'll pop it. I think we want to get the Jeeves. So that filters our draw so we can get the hard-hitting news. Spin Doctor is actually quite good too. I don't know if we're going to have the credits to hard-hitting news if we just want to... I think we'll keep the hard-hitting news. Hippo. Oh, sick. Okay. So we could res the Jeeves to basically triple advance this and then maybe hit them with the hard-hitting news. I think that sounds pretty good. We'll keep the IP block. So if we res Jeeves, will be that 4. No, that we can't do both. So I'm just going to do advance, advance, advance on this. Actually, we probably should have res this. Maybe not. Maybe we misplayed that. But now they're going to have to start taking tags. And not that their economy looks that robust. And we're controlling our draw pretty well with Daily Business Show. So the chance of us flooding up is pretty low. En passant, no surprise. We have to play around, run amok. I think that's still in the card pool and en passant. We don't have plans for this Bologna. So we could do triple install and then res Jeeves and get some value. I think we want to do that. So we're going to do triple install. So we'll do the thing in the remote first. I guess we'll open with the San. We have a Jua. That is not better than a Turnpike. They have a tag and they IP block is actually pretty disgusting. I think I'm okay with R&D because if they interact with the Manta Grid, we're okay. So we're going to do another install and we'll put something on HQ because I'm worried about Wanton. And we'll click for credit there, I guess. Psycho is so good. Yeah, Psycho's going to be okay, but they need more than one tag for Psychographics to actually do something. So Mamba Virtual Grid here would be really good, but this is going to start giving them tags. So now they have 2 tags because they have an AI installed. Yeah, Market Forces I think is a possibility in this deck, but the slots are really tight. I think we were looking at another list. Oh, now they have no money. Whose was it? I think it was Sid's list who was running a similar list to this, and they were on Market Forces instead of Psycho. So we can't res anything here, but that's okay. We're going to shuffle our deck as well. And we have Psychographics and they're on 3 tags, so we actually have what we need to close the game. Now, unfortunately, Maryland campaign looks really good on board state because, again, we just don't have enough economy. I think we need pad campaigns or more of those with that 0-tiered subscription or something. But this represents winning the game, which seems kind of nice. I just think we need the Maryland. 10 pronunciation en passant. En passante. Chat, what are we taking? I think it's actually the Maryland. No, that feels silly. Oh, sick. Oh man, this will be really sick. So we don't want to res this, we get wrecked by everything else. You have 2 Psycho take them as? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. It's half of winning the game, but the other half is like having 11 credits. Ooh, it looks like we're gonna get Manta Grid here. Not that we can use it that well. Having another click is just good. So they have fewer than 6 credits or no unspent clicks. So this Manta Grid is gonna fire. We're at 1 Manta Grid trigger. Install 3 times credit might have been better, but then we didn't get the NEH draw, so that's awkward. So we have an extra click next turn, and this isn't once per turn. They could run HQ. Oh, they're gonna APOC us. Shit. Not always having Isis sick. Yeah, until she APOCs us on this board state. So the question is, do we res a Manta to have another click next turn? Oh, it's unique. No, we're gonna APOC. We misplayed that. We should have put a Jua down just to force him to spend some money. That's actually pretty bad misplay. No, okay. We could consider resing this, but I think we need money more than anything. Yeah, run Archives APOCus. I think that's fine. We don't lose too much. And they're gonna take another tag too. So like if we just like camp, like turtle up, we can win off of psychographics into, what do we need for Beal? We need 11 tags. Manta has to remain raised in order to trigger after the run ends. It doesn't need to maintain at the beginning of the turn. So the problem is like, we're not that worried about a wanton destruction considering they have 0 credits. Nothing in archives. Oh, there is a Beal in archives. I forgot about that. So we can draw once, put this in a new remote, and a slot machine on R&D seems just good enough. Manta and Giant Beal, the winning lines in this deck. Yeah, so far Manta's fired once and it hasn't been that good. We spent 1 credit for 1 credit. So this is 4. We'll res this to res this. We really need this to fire. They're on no money, so this actually might not do anything. Program event to program. Fuck yes. Got our money back. That's huge. Now they're just going to tank through this. So we that's why the deck needs end to run. So I feel bad about cutting an IP block or an Enigma. And maybe this board state isn't that common. They know we ran into Spin Doctor. This is such a big deal. There's a Beal in archives. And especially Beals are really important. They're on 4 tags. The Manta Virtual Tool doesn't do much. The Jua doesn't do much. Jua and HQ seems good enough. They're just going to slam through this. They can't steal Bologna though. So I don't think it matters. And at some point we will hard-hitting use them. I just think we do need a couple more credits. And this we don't need to do, but this might convince them to run HQ. The problem with Jua though is that it bounces their Eater. Like this is unresable. Like I really do think we would have been better with Jua here. So I'll res this. I'm going to go ahead and put some cards back. So we'll put the Beal back. From this, what do we also want to bring back? I think honestly the assembly lines. And they'll go ahead and trash that. That makes a lot of sense. We can rebuild. And if we could hard-hitting use them here, which would give them 5 tags again. But if they trash their things, they're going to take tags on anyway. So I think that's quite okay. We don't need to. No, I think we're just going to go ahead and throw one of these out. Red level clearance, I don't think it's just a good enough card. Like it's 2 influence. It doesn't do too much. Like a clickless install in this deck doesn't matter. We're not comboing anyone. They can't trash this. Trashing the Maryland, I think they need to do. I'm interested to see if they do it though. Because if they have no money, like that's fine. But yeah, them denying us money is actually a pretty big deal. Sick. So at this point, we just want to click. Again, we can score out a 5-point Beal, which will put us on game point. And we have 2 psychographics. So like we just need to make sure our money is okay. We'll throw this out. End turn, we'll res this. We'll install a non-agenda card into a new remote to get a free card draw. Sick. And again, a card like this is super important. Having just end the runs are good, let alone end the run that gives a tag. That is relevant. So they're running it. It's a Mumbai Virtual Tour. That's fine. Elemental literally only plays Econ to now? Oh, I'm not too familiar. So 6 tags is an awkward number. We probably just want to do two Beals. So we're going to go do 2 Beals. So I'll put this in a new remote just specifically to draw a card. So we could do 6 in advance. So okay, so 5 is 3 points. 7 is 4 points. If we do 7, we'd be on 5 points. That doesn't really change. No, that's not right. If we do 7, we'll be on 5 points. Yeah, I think we'll just do 2 5s. Okay, and now we win next turn if we keep the money. What if you just get the full 6 points? You got 2 psychos? Oh my god. I'm dumb. We could have won there. But what if you did this? Yeah, so the idea is we could have installed and done 5 and then 5 and we would have won on the spot. Oh my god, if they steal the Beal here, I'm going to be so salty. AR enhanced, okay. You're short of credit? Are we actually? Opposite, that's fine. They took another tag for that. Okay, we win. Were we short of credit? I don't think we were. And that's why Psycho is good. Hey, good game. You need 11 advancement to get 6 points. Oh, we were short 1. Oh, they just left. That's a bummer. No, even GG. Okay, so 29 credits to their 26 credits. We had everything in hand. Yeah, I think taking the psychographics was way better than the Maryland, just because we had the board state for that to win. And they were just going to try and crush our economy. And I think that's a reason why maybe Jua isn't a good thing. It's not good in all board states, and Turnpike largely is, even if they go tag me. So I think we're going to swap that one out. But I think Jua is an underrated card, and it's specifically very good against Anarch Breakers. But it's way better if you have Jua into something that ends the run. Because a lot of time Anarchs want to run, and then they think that they're going to be able to break things by pulling breakers from the bin, but that requires 2 ice. If you do Jua into like a ping. All right, let's make some changes. Unfortunately, I have to change it here, and then we also have to change it on JNet, but it looks like Remy's working on that, so we don't have to do that. I missed, yeah, we just did doubles. We did 2 Beals. We cycled for Beal twice. Turnpike. Okay. Again, I think our money is way lacking. I think we need more econ assets, but let's do another game and see if that's the case. Court. More pattern Nassix. Yeah, I think Nassix is like a pretty easy include. And Nassix has actually some triggers with advanced assembly lines that you can fire off pretty hard. And Nassix is just strictly better than pad. It's actually interesting because if I was looking at I think the temple is also like really good. But I think Sid posted a list. Yeah, this kickflip fast events for the Vancouver Online GNK. And it's very similar. The agenda suite's entirely the same. They're playing F2P, which it's interesting. It's a bit expensive for our taste, let alone the toll booth. But having one good big ice to build on the remote is actually quite nice. They're also on double biotic and 2 Sanson, so they're trying to fast advance out more. So maybe they need more economy quicker. But it's actually a very similar list. How about Ansel? Ansel is not only 3 influence, but having a very expensive ice that they can also click through. Like it just doesn't help our game plan. Like if on cell the subroutines fire, that doesn't cause us to win. If you're playing more of a glacier deck, maybe that will cause you to win. We're not building a stronger remote where we have defensive upgrades, so like running on cell multiple times in the same turn is bigger. It's like ice like that doesn't work really well. Honestly, if we want it to be like really spicy and annoying, just like back in the day, it might be better just to put a Cobra. Like a sentry breaker or a sentry that does something that doesn't give them another way to panic deal with them. That's like the problem with on cell. Yeah, Drafter. I totally forgot about Drafter. Drafter actually is probably really good for the list. This is a really good sentry, let alone for 2 influence. Because if this fires, we can get back some strong cards, let alone we can install a card. And with installing a card, we draw a card off of our ability. Like that's the thing with Oncel. Like Oncel has no synergy with anything else that we're doing. It's just like a good sentry, but it's not something our list specifically needs. And maybe we're just trying to get Manta value. And our Mantas so far have been rubbish, but can't be too surprised about that. Rototurret also is like a thing, and Rototurret is looking a bit better right now. Rototurret used to be like largely unplayable because so many people were playing Amakua, and Amakua isn't as cool as it used to be because we at some point were running a lot of virus hate, and that's kind of died off a bit, I think. But Amakua is also very difficult to play, so this is better. It drains their clicks and helps you put other cards in the game. Yeah, but there's just better ways to do that. And draining the clicks, like draining the clicks is one thing. But like, I see what you mean. It's just we're trying to get to Manta Grid to be good, but Manta Grid being good is not as necessary. I even don't think Manta Grid will be good with all the support in the world. It's just kind of fun. Interesting enough too, in that board state where Elemental was checking our remotes at the end game, a Manta Grid would have let us score a Beal from hand because they would have accessed it with not enough money, let alone. Like, I think the money thing's going to hit more often than the click thing. And then not having money is good, too. Yo, you're Nikon's girlfriend. How's it going? Click. It's trying to make it work. Yeah, no, I get it. So the other cards back in the day that used to do that, like you could do Ronald 5 and other fun stuff like that, but this one rotated. You also had, when currents were legal, and this rotated outside of that, you had, what is that current, the HB current that caused, that took an extra click to make a run? I forgot the name of the currents because we haven't had to say them in such a long time. Does anybody know which current it is? It's like 3 words. So it looks expensive, but it does put other cards in the game synergized with Manta. Yeah, I feel like though at that point, like we can't afford that res. Enhanced logging, ELP, yeah, that's it. Thank you. The first time I heard a Ronald 5 acid spam was from this stream. Yo, it was like people were playing that. It was like a tier 2 deck. People loved it in Sather or Sather. It was good. ELP Quinn's wrote a review of that card. Really? Oh my god, yeah, Quinn's. The only card where after a game my opponent has picked it up and mimed tearing it half in Animal Rage. In a corp deck with a decent few assets, the card is breathtakingly annoying. Give it a try, or don't, and enjoy your innocence. Stay young. It was like you once. It was so beautiful. That's actually a really like strong thing with Quentin Smith. And if you don't know who Quinn's is from Shut Up and Sit Down, and he used to play Netrunner at a very competitive level. One of his published deck lists came top 8 at like a UK regional, or national, excuse me, I think. That's a pretty big deal. But having a unique name helps you a lot, where you can say Quinn's and everyone knows who you're talking about, which is really nice. And I don't know how often this comes up. Quentin Smith. Right? That's Quinn's. But Quentin Smith, I spelled it wrong. That's his double. I miss ELP. It was good in my favorite Mirror Morph deck. It was a very strong card. It was one of the stronger currents, and it wasn't a current that felt as bad and oppressive as opposed to like, you know, Scarcity that was on playing. ELP is so good until the runner stim hacks. Yeah, I know. There was a lot of problems like Dirty Laundry stim hack. It got even better now. Would love to see Quinn's push Nisei a little, but he wants to draw a line under NR. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what the quotes are about it, but Shut Up, Sit Down, they just had their online shucks as of last month. And they did a stream at the end of it. It was like really late for them, and it was a very casual QA. And somebody asked specifically, what do you think about Netrunner? What do you think about Nisei? And I don't know Quentin's quote specifically, but it was really interesting to listen to because like he's clearly... Like he gets asked that so much, and he's like, he's very grateful, and he thinks the things that Nisei are doing are very, very good, and obviously they are. But for him, it's very hard because Netrunner took up, from my understanding, like a lot of his life. And in some ways, it's very good for him to get that part of his life back, not only for like personal reasons, but also because of the job that he has. And so for him, you know, he got out the same way someone quits smoking. Like he probably had a great time smoking at some point. Yo, Zandorius says, how's it going? I agree with your comment on Reddit about the Netrunner deck list of the week. Quinn says push Netrunner and Nisei bit. Yeah, I imagine he retweets and stuff like that. Ooh, that's a tough matchup, but sometimes it's easy to get. 47 cards. It's sometimes easy to get off. When every card is a Mombat Virtual Tour in your list, sometimes it is easy to get a hard name use off. Asking a recovered alcoholic about repping alcohol. Yeah, maybe that was insensitive, but if I didn't say alcohol, I said cigarettes. That's perhaps less of a problem. Yeah. Quinn says a tattoo the link symbol. He does. I hit the microphone. He does. I think at some point I was going to try and get that. I like that tattoo. I might do that if I ever get a tattoo. Tom, yeah, you're right. Skip on. Tom Brewster ordered Gateway. He said that on the stream, and he's like really stoked about it. I think he said he regretted getting rid of his collection, and so he ordered Gateway late one night. So I hope they give it press. Like I think it's really important that they do give it press. I was really happy that Team Covenant did. And like, okay, we talked a bit today about Flesh and Blood, and like, I don't know, that's like such a wild thing. And you kind of saw that at the end of the Nisei stream, like the Team Covenant people were like, wow, this is great. This is so good. And this costs $40, which is such a stark comparison when next day they open Monarch boxes that cost $100 to get some random cards from Flesh and Blood. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Tom's videos are so wild. Tom is such a good inclusion in Shut Up and Sit Down. And I'm very interested to see what Ava does once there's video. Stream is off. Hey, cheers. Just trying to find ways and places to foster good discussion. Yeah, that one comment you got was like, didn't foster discussion. We'll keep this in. That's good enough. Manta plus Ansel plus Architect plus Advanced Assembly Lines. I think I missed something. Would also add to the combo. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. because you reinstall it. Reinstalling AL is really good, and this list used to have things like team sponsorship to do that a lot more. I don't feel he's competitive, but he's a fun runner. I think Adam has a very good chance of being competitive. For those who don't know, Adam is a mini faction. He starts with, or it, I shouldn't gender Adam, starts with 3 directives. This one says whenever they make a successful run, see the top of R&D. That's really important. We also get to see what they're drawing. Neutralize all threats means that they access 2 in the hit HQ, which is some legitimate pressure, but they have to trash the first card they access. And a lot of our cards have huge trash costs, and if they trash a Jeeves when they're not expecting it, boom goes the hard-hitting news. And safety first is just a good card draw card. We're not going to capitalize on the minimal hand size. Economy zone. Tom's been great. Dr. Board Games is incredible bit. Yeah, I'm enjoying Tom. Okay, this is a problem. We're going to need Ice HQ for sure. I think we'll go wide once more, and we'll just put a ping on HQ. If they run this last click for some reason, a tag in this matchup is disastrous, because if we trash their directives, they're playing a blank ID. Adam art, best art. Like the identity itself? It's a Matt Zellinger. Ooh, dirty laundry. They're going to have to trash our Maryland. And they're also going to see the top of R&D, which is definitely worth knowing. And in theory, if we keep like something like an advanced assembly lines on the table, if they see the top of R&D, we can always draw it, which is a nice little trick. Also, this ability got a lot worse too, and I didn't mention this in the System Gateway review, but this is one of the few abilities that sees the top of R&D. And having a way to shuffle with also like Spin Doctor makes this sort of tech a lot worse. Imagine the mini factions just got some cards here and there instead of neutral cards with influence, as I don't see them being a main focus on any cycles. I imagine mini factions just get some. Yeah, that's largely how it goes. It was like they would get, like in the Katara cycle, the last FFG cycle, they each got 2 cards. But you're totally right. Like any neutral or low influence cards is good. And there's also a lot of cards that are very, very good for them that aren't printed in faction. And I don't think Nisei is going to be printing Adam or any of the mini faction cards because it just doesn't make sense for their model. And their model is in a couple of years, it will only be Nisei cards, which definitely is a bit of a bummer. Ooh, that's really aggressive. So that's going to go down for free, which is a bummer. This is the exact sort of thing where a pink can be game winning. So we might want to try and bait them into a remote. That's a really good overclock. They are scared of our Mumbat virtual tours. 1 credit. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to score out this. Oh. Well, their econ's really good for how much they trashed that turn. We also know that they didn't draw anything. They threw out a brain chip. New remote. Okay. That's good. I'll just do server 3 R&D. And this is unfortunately a pretty slow open. They can always reprint the mini faction identities. They reprinted other IDs. Yeah, they could. I don't know if they will, because that kind of marries them to the idea that they have to reprint a lot of other cards. Like if you just reprint this, you also have to reprint all the Adam cards. But I think they're more likely to make new mini factions, if anything. I want a mini corp faction. I feel like mini corp faction doesn't sound that interesting. Like it could just be a subsidiary of somebody else. Mini runner factions seem more interesting for some reason. I don't know why. I like how Overclock essentially has Adam flavor text. Exactly. Like these cards are so good. Oh yeah, because Linus Lovegood. Yeah, it does have Adam flavor text largely on it, and that's really neat. It's also a thing that's worth noting that like more and more thinking, I'm just going to say, more and more Nisei is rotating out characters or directly calling characters by name because I think that distances them from FFG. Global Sec Org Crime? Oh, Global Sec would be cool, but like Global Sec could just be under Wayland and we'd be fine, I think. Do we ever want to do Slavish Machine remote? Yeah, why not? I imagine Nisei would like to use their emergent creativity and make some stuff versus reprint. Yeah, I think so. I really think they would. So they have more money. They'll probably check this. We could have protected it behind a slot machine. I don't know whether you care to protect a daily business show that much. Again, we just want to get them into an awkward situation, whether it's running a ping later in the turn or having their money dip low. But before brain chip, they struggle to do a lot. But again, we're going to be surprised. Yeah, so they're going to just trash this. So we spend a click they paid for. Pretty good. We could have also not installed this. They see the top of R&D, but we could have not installed this just so we get a free install next turn. I don't want to score the Beal. Maybe we have to. Maybe this is the sort of matchup where we should just jam Beals behind pings. Play it like TF34 did at Worlds. Just score out. That's probably not wrong. They might have Boomerang. They definitely have Logic Bomb. So this ping is still good. It's very good against Logic Bomb. Going through this and losing your whole turn, taking a tag, disgusting. But I don't think there's a lot of ice that they're really scared to Logic Bomb. Okay, so it looks like there's an agenda on R&D. We generally res slot machine. It's an equal trade, hardware resource program, so apparently not. So they're drawing into brain chip. Hunting grounds is a huge problem for us because it's going to deal with the slot machine. And now they're stealing an agenda. I don't think the flavor works of there being any megacorps that aren't that big for. Like if anything is real power in the world, one of them would just buy it out. Yeah, that's largely what Wayland is. Wayland is like a mini faction collection of financially lucrative corporations. Mini factions are super interesting. I personally love the Sunny flavor, but I imagine it's hard to support them. Yeah, Chris, like it's such a bummer. I know there's some people that are like it's their favorite part of Netrunner, and I get it. The flavor's amazing. Like Sunny is just such a cool flavor. Adam is quintessential sci-fi here, and same for Apex, and it's a bummer. But yeah, no, I agree. We're gonna build fully operational. We're gonna go horizontal. I need to keep money, so I don't want to score this Spiel out. They're on 10 credits. They're playing it really well. Like this is such a bad turn for NEH. Like that's incredible. We have, I think, like 18 assets. They drew Brain Chip. They drew Hunting Grounds, and they have an Ngolo coming down. Rizeki, and there they just drew the Ngolo. And Ngolo is pretty expensive, so this is a good enough window to score. That's important, especially when we're planning to res ice. We have a dock. I'm going to put the dock behind one of these. I think the turnpike actually is more difficult for them. Oh, no, actually, no, they have Hunting Grounds, so both of these are equally not good. This costs them 3. Look for credit. Now we have to go a bit faster because they're getting a credited turn, but Ngolo at least is a huge hit for them unless they install it for free. RNG key is a problem, but luckily our ice is generally good enough. They break this with 3 for Ngolo. Econ tweaks are sounding better and better. Yeah, I think our economy is just not there. Like if we just had pad campaigns, we'd have something on the table right now, usually. Or an Assex, right? A Hunting Ground means they can just go through this for 3 credits, which they can't really forward. And hey, we haven't been filtering, so at some point they want to go HQ. I think that's for sure. Oh, they're running a Mamba Temple, so we could use it to res a Beal for free. No, it's fine. And they see the top of R&D, so we have to remember that they know what we're drawing. We also keep the Spin Doctor, so when they run R&D, we can shuffle if we don't need it. They drew Councilman. Am I going to respect a Councilman? I don't think so. I'm going to force them to do something. 3 pad, 3 Nasdaq, 3 Mamba. The Econ's good. It's really good. It's just like so many slots. Like that is the inevitability about doing something like this. It's like our Manta Grid deck. The next thing we would do is cut the Manta Grids. 4 credit time to hard hitting news. Nah, they had too much money. I don't think we really can and should. Deuce is wild. Gain 3 at the start. Generally, if you're not, you want to draw first, if anything. They know it's a ping on HQ, so that's a bummer because they have to run now, but they're never going to get hit by this ping last click. Oh, 1 SX. Yeah, 1 SX for sure, but. So they don't know the top of R&D, so this is actually a run, but they get RNG key value. So it's going to cost them 3. So that breaks even. This is free with RNG key. Jesus. If they hit a trashable here, it's disastrous. Like if they hit something with 3 trash cost, they're going to get hard hitting news really hard. We really need them to hit a trashable here. Oh no, but they get 3 from, it's a Spin Doctor. Okay, that's fine. So they get 3, play for 2. Okay, no, it's not as bad as it looks. They have a Logic Bomb. They have 6 credits. We have a Tomorrow's Headline. Okay. Get some stuff on the table. The flavor using RNG on a slot machine? Wow, yeah, it's quite cute. Cut MVT for more econ. My last poke against MVT, honest. No, I think you're right, Dennis. Like, I just want to do MVT because it's cute with Manta, but like, it would be better if it was just a pad campaign, which a lot of times they would go out of their way to spend 4 credits of trash. I think you're totally right. It'll be the next change we make. Remind me if I don't, remember. Look at that board. It doesn't have fully op to back it up. I know, Raketha, this would be amazing, but like, we just only drew ice. Like, this is a really weird draw for the deck. And on 3 credits, like, they can definitely run 2 of these. Like, we can't afford to res a slot machine. Unless we're banking on getting 3 credits off of it. This Spin Doctor lives will be, or sorry, Bankers Group lives will be pretty happy. Man, I want to run Stock Exchange decks. Stock Exchange is really fun. Indian Union Stock Exchange. You play like a bunch of neutrals. You play white space. Play Tithe. Everything's free money. Indian Union's a really fun card. I wish I spent more time just jank building in Netrunner. They drew a cast. I haven't been paying enough attention to what they have in hand. We know they have an Ngolo. We know they have a Logic Bomb. That's all I got. So that's all I'm keeping up here. And a daily cast. That's not hard. It's right there. Their hand size is 4. Now, if they install an Ngolo, they're down to 2 credits. Dirty Laundry. That's a good draw here. They might Dirty Laundry this. Now, cool thing is we can res both of these, and we end up credit positive and score tomorrow's headline. If we had a Jeeves on the table, we could score tomorrow's headline and then actually trash something. And that's something I didn't mention in the review series either. Jeeves is really good. Hunter Grounds, Perfect the Pattern, Slot Machine. Okay. Fire. They lose 3. Again, they have 2 credits, so they have to hit specifically like a Wait, do we have Rashid in this list? Yo, is Rashid in this list? We forgot to put Rashid in this list? What are we doing? Oh, that's why our money sucks. Oh, it's Jeeves. Oh, man. Yo, I figured out what we have to add to the deck. It's Rashida. Oh, that's so bad. How did no one notice? This is not on me. I shouldn't be yelling. It's pretty late. That's embarrassing. Okay, well, we made the deck like so much better. I thought we can protect Rashida. No, it's okay though. You just put it on the table, right? And a lot of times they don't run everything and they can't run everything. Rashida's still worth it. If they spend a click to trash your Rashida, that's fine. It's worse on an open R&D. Okay, so we're gonna res all this stuff, or all of it that we can. Do we score a headline? I think we do. I think we do. Interesting enough, that's a really mean server. Like, ping it to headline. We could actually leave that stewing so that we could trash a resource. There's a chance that is correct, but right now we're on a Bologna play. And so we do Bologna behind ping, we can force them into an awkward situation if we do top deck the Bologna. But it's in their best interest to trash all this stuff because we're on pennies. Not bad. They got RNG and Dirty Laundry and wound up with less money. I'm not saying I don't think it's worth it, but when I saw the deck list without it, I assumed you didn't want it. Oh, Thanos, you can't. Don't underestimate my deck building. Or overestimate. I don't know what's correct. What does KEKW mean? It's the emote for laughter on Twitch. The guy from KEKW, he's a Spanish comedian. He passed away actually just a month ago. When do you think about the Brain Taping Warehouse in combination with Manta? It rotated. But Brain Taping Warehouse there was better things to do with Brain Taping than Manta, but Brain Taping is a rotato. I think so, at least. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it rotated. There you go. This is a play that we were talking about. So they have to deal with the ping with Logic Bomb and steal the Bologna, which is pretty difficult. We're getting closer and closer to the hard-hitting news. If they steal this, they're hard-hitting newsable for sure. This is where a seamless launch is something. Could also advance to tomorrow's headline once with a better Twitch TV extension. I just read 2 things. Sorry. Can also advance to tomorrow's headline once instead of for a tag trash next turn. Yeah, Bane, how's it going? That was definitely an option for sure. I'm a bit scared with Logic Bomb and Ngolo in hand, but like this is a really good punishment for that. So yeah, that could have been the right thing for sure. If we res this, we don't get money, and I think we need 7 credits to score this. I'm not going to res that. So we can actually throw out an agenda pretty easily here because we can do advance credit. And now they need to access this and steal it. And avoid the ping tag. And not get harding used. Oh, Councilman's a problem though. Wait, no, they threw out a Councilman. Because Councilman actually goofs with Spin Doctor. I'd rather have the Beal. Enjoying the stream? Hey, cheers. It's an emote you can see with the better Twitch TV extension, yeah. It's like a guy laughing. Except it's not enabled here, so it's just text for everyone, yeah. It's a really interesting thing because there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time on Twitch. And a lot of times on Twitch, you interact with chat by saying a word that's translated into an emote. Res spin now? I'm not worried if it's second Councilman. Maybe we should. I don't know. I'm gonna risk it. I don't think there are 2 Councilmen. We could have paid more attention to hand. But yeah, there's a lot of people that like when it's just like some people say lol or lamau out loud, which some people find that embarrassing. But there's a lot of people that like spend a lot of time on Twitch that when something happens, they basically learn the words react to it based off of the Twitch extension, and it's kind of wild, isn't it? This isn't as good as I thought it would be, but if they logic bomb it, they have a tag. I mean, it's no risk. No, it's no risk, but it shows us what it is. So this is really awkward because if they want to go through this, which they think they need to win the game, they're going to end with a tag because the only way through it is logic bomb, and that eats their last click. So then at that point, we can trash their resources, which we don't have a lot of money to do. Let's not forget the Keck came from World of Warcraft. Oh, I didn't know that. What does Keck actually stand for? I have no idea about that. Like Keck and Pog and stuff like that. Like, oh, that's not me. Might be. I don't know where that stuff comes from. Oh, they're getting tagged. Oh, action before access? No, sorry, it's all good. So they're gonna go down to 5 credits. We're gonna be on 6 credits. They have a single tag. They just drew another councilman. So I don't think we res the DBS. So at this point we can start trashing stuff. That seems important. We also could hardening news, which would do a lot of damage to them. It would do a lot of damage to them, that's for sure. And put us closer to winning out for Beal, because we need 5 tags for Beal, or 4 tags for Beal. How much to HHN sends are we going to psycho again? It's a fair bit. Because we do 3 on Trace 4, we have to boost it up to Trace, so we have to spend at least 6 credits. So we could do credit, hard-hitting news, and basically fork them. We'd have to res Councilman. And we do credit, hard-hitting news. We're short on Beal dollars, so we have to actually survive for 2 turns. So it seems very unlikely. And then this on HQ falls apart. So I don't know. I just looked up Keck with Google and someone filled out the dictionary.com entry with a bunch of nonsense. Isn't it 5 credits are hard-hitting news? Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's Trace 4. No, yes, you're correct. So if we worry about Councilman, we have to pre-res Spin Doctor, which we'll do on the beginning of their turn. Unfortunately, Daily Business Show won't. Yeah, we just need money. In South America, KKK is laughter. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. We also could res this to throw it out. Now we'll do it on their turn. How bad could it be? Oh, it's just Brazil? I thought like in a lot of Spanish, like I saw laughter is like J-E, right? What's that out of KKK as the Korean version of haha as well? I feel like literally every internet meme is called an alt-right slogan by people who have no idea. Wait, did that just come up? I think we need trash resources. I'm hoping that this is a salient enough win condition. But the problem is like we're 2 credits short. If we had just a bit more money, yeah, we would be able to win this turn. Brazil's either KKK or hahaha. Yeah, Roquetha, about that sort of stuff. It's just like the Pepe Frog got involved with the alt-right at some point for sure. But originally it wasn't meant to. Pepe did nothing wrong. Yeah, there's a whole documentary about it. It's actually pretty interesting. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the trailer. It's only abbreviated Portuguese, not Spanish. Also J-A. Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen like ja. So they're thinking. They could be worried that they're going to die to something like Boom or high profile target. Now, in theory, their hand size is like what? It doesn't say it anymore. We have to calculate it. It used to say, oh, they're clearing the tags. Sick. They drew an overclock. That's terrifying. So if we trash one thing, we trash find the truth. This is not easy. I'm going to do this next click. That's really bad. I should have done it in a different order. And how much money do we need? If we want to res the Maryland, we need 2 credits. So we can throw some stuff out here. Enigma seems okay. Again. because they need to install their thing. IP block seems okay. We don't need Amani Sanai, but Amani Sanai could represent a huge blowout. Spin Doctor is always good. We want to use one Spin Doctor in theory. They still have a Councilman in hand. We definitely don't need 2 Psycho. Well, not definitely. We probably don't need 2 Psycho. To take on another tag, 2 Psycho is not unreasonable because we do install Psycho Psycho. They would need 3 tags for that to be good. I don't know, y'all. I don't think we can afford the Amani. We have to throw out 3 cards. I'll throw out the Dock, and we'll throw out... Yeah, we just need more money. If we had more money in this deck, I think it would actually be quite good. But I think at this point, the Manta Grids look pretty silly. And we'll throw out a single Psycho. Yeah, maybe. What's their tag punishment? It's only psychographics. 2 of. 2 Psychos are needed? No, they're not. They're definitely not. They have 3 credits, which is pretty good. 100 grams is also good. Yeah, but we just can't afford it. We can't afford to trash it. We probably actually should have put that in the server. We probably shouldn't have done that in their naked because they really want to trash this. 100 grounds is definitely good, but Find the Truth is a bit more important because Find the Truth means that they can go through this for free. Like right now, all this turns off is the other 2 cyber teams on slot machine that don't necessarily fire, but Find the Truth is way more important. It also does turn off a Turnpike, but that's fine. It's still Trace 5. It's worth noting also they have an overclock in hand, which is pretty relevant because we can't just jam a Bologna behind a ping. And now we don't know what they're drawing. So they're drawing up, 23 cards left in a stack. They get pretty good card draw again because their hand size is 3 + 3 + 1. They clear the tag, they're on 1 credit. They're going to gain 3 at the beginning of the next turn. They're on 5. They threw out a paperclip, so it's 5 credits to get through this. They can get through this for free. We'll res the Maryland. It's not credit positive, but it gets us on the board. Oh, I forgot we had these. These are nice. What are we looking to draw into? Just more economy, right? A Manta Grid actually would be quite cute. Daily Business Show res at some point would be nice as well. I think we need to get a scoring remote. Like, I think we want to actually score out agendas. We also need to protect this, Maryland. I'm pretty sure. HQ's a bit dodgy. You want to draw into Rashida Wenegon? Tell me about it. Imagine we had a Rashida on the table. Like, that could have been Rashida. Like, Rashida's just so good. I don't think I would convince anybody of that. But, like, the fact that an acid deck doesn't have Rashida on it is straight nonsense. One of the best plays is just, like, ping Rashida early game. Go. Gotta force some runs? Yeah, we do. We actually could use this. We can install an agenda with this card. This assembly lines. It's non-agenda card. We also have Sands, and if we score a Sands behind a ping, like then we can score 2 Beals. But we definitely want to res the Daily Business Show so we don't end up flooding up. Because we don't want to draw any more AR enhanced securities. They don't really help us win. Yeah, we just need more money. Go in archives. I like this. So we'll put back in the agenda and we'll put back in, I think another Spin Doctor. It's usually the most relevant. They also just ran. So in theory, if they like goof it up here and install something, we have a second hard-hitting news. And we have a 2 credit boost here, plus 2 cards on this. So we will probably start our turn on 7 credits. They don't have a daily cast. It's going to be a bit harder. Find the Truth and Fire. I trashed it. They didn't realize. Yeah, we destroyed it. I don't know if they're running archives just to find the truth. It looks like it. Sorry about that. So what's their line here? Like, they know this is a ping. And they logic bombing this sounds awful, but hitting 2 cards from HQ is kind of a big deal. I'm gonna actually Councilman against this isn't the worst. We still res it, right? Getting your directives trash as Adam feels very strange. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, I think we played against Bullet at a stream a couple weeks ago, and They lost their directives very quickly. If not died, maybe even on turn 1. Like, there's some huge blowouts. Like, Adam, it's very scary in the early game. Adam versus turn 1 best defense? Yeah, or turn 1, what's it called? Netscape, or whatever, the escape net, right? Like, it's just disgusting. It's just not fun. And I hate that. Like, I don't like the idea that going to a tournament when best defense was a playable card, that you can just get turn 1 blown out, and you just made a bad meta call. Like, it just feels awful. Ooh. Wait, they have no breaker. Oh, they have paperclip. Oh, beans. We could lose here. I forgot they had paperclip. Oh, that's on me. I was like, what are they doing? Because they see 2 cards here, right? Because of neutralize. So they're likely to steal 1 Beal. Shit. Enigma. Okay, they're on game point. And this is not first time. This is whenever. So they could go back. They might want to clear the tag here. Yeah, they did. Okay. Now, Harding News does look good. Giving the free paperclip install and resing for last click might have been better. You're right. Actually, resing there was probably wrong. I think you're totally right. Resing there could have been wrong, but that's only if we're going to trash something. If we res this, we can install Enigma to draw a card. I don't think we want to do that. Oh, actually, we want to res this to res this. And then we can still probably Hard-Hitting News. Yeah, that seemed important. Best defense hard shutdown cold ones. That was an excellent thing. I guess so, but I'm not excited about it. Getting the Beal out of hand seems nice. I just don't know where we'd put it. This is quite difficult. Getting Enigma on HQ seems okay. Putting us in the new remote, we just don't have enough money. Like, by no means do we have enough money. They did use their last overclock, though. But now running this isn't that hard. Like, we just need an Enigma on the remote. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this one, y'all. I just don't think we have enough money to, like, threaten our game plan. So if anything here, I think we do credit Hard-Hitting News, and hopefully they tilt. Draw for Rashida. Oh my god. You know, that's the thing, is like how much faster Rashida is. It buys us like 2 whole turns of a free value, considering how bad things are going here. So we actually can just do draw into this. Oh man, there's our Manta Grids. This actually would have been quite relevant. This would be good. I'd put this on Essential. So now it looks like they're going to tag me, and maybe we'll get 2 credits. Rashida becomes better than a banned card if she sticks for 1 turn. Seems okay. Yeah. Always a risk. So we also could like install the Manta Grid onto a new remote, and I think we will do that. Because this won't draw an agenda unless it draws 2 agendas. Oh, it's still in her hand. That's weird. Yeah, there you go. Cut the Manta, add Rashida, rename deck yellow Rashida. Break meta. Those are the lines. Remove cool card, add Rashida. Make meta deck. Let's go. Four tags. Predictive planogram. Boom. Let's go. Oh, wow, gamble. They might actually clear some tags here. 2 tags is enough for psychographics to be good, but no money is. Yeah, wow. Wow. They are doing a good job and ensuring we can't win. Okay, hold the phone here. If we install this, we can res it. Then we'll have some credits. With 4 credits. Then we can't do install Beal. So on 2 credits, we can do install Beal, psychographics, and we're 1 credit short of fast advancing Beal. Super awkward. I think we have to go for assembly lines because it's the only money play we got. And then hopefully try and win with the Sansan. Hmm. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we just credit short. We could score this out. You can really dance? What do you mean? Now, it's probably better to click for credit than doing this. All right, we're zoomed out. We're NEHing. So I don't think they're ever going to hit the Mumbed before, or sorry, the Mumbed Virtual Tour for it to actually matter. We actually could have scored naked Beals out. They're not checking this stuff. I think them not contesting the Maryland's probably incorrect. We were on like 2 credits or even 0 credits at some point. Yeah, this seems like a losing play for us. They can also steal Bologna, so like it's very likely we lose here. Maybe we should have just gone for the Spin Doctor. Yeah, we just don't have enough money to capitalize on our game plan. Like we have windows, but we just don't have the economy to back it up. So we can fix this. Enigma? Beal. Ah, good game. Yeah, maybe we should push the Beal on the table. They didn't seem to be checking things. I don't think we negotiated that or we recognized that. Oh my god, 85 to 31 credits. Yeah, we have a huge problem there. Yeah, no, that's not gonna do it. That was a tense one. Hey, well played. I think the MVT has to go behind ice if you're going to install it. Bluff it as something valuable. Yeah, I think you're right. Especially there because we're not drawing. It might be better to bluff it behind here, and then they might consider running it. I think you're right about that. It's putting this on a naked remote doesn't seem very good. Because like if it was good, maybe we'd put it into server 3, but maybe it's the opposite. Like if they understand that headspace too. So they think if it was good, we would maybe bluff it around here. Okay, we're going to do one more. We'll change the deck really quickly. We're going to change it here. And but that's the thing. No, like if I change this deck, I'm just gonna end up taking the Manta Grids out, and we're just gonna be playing a good stuff NEH deck. Do you guys want to do that and just make a good stuff NEH deck, or are we gonna change this deck? Because like that's a problem. Is like I don't know what slots we can goof with. Okay, we can goof with the Mumbed Virtual Tours. Those are for fine. So we're keeping Manta. So what do we put in? We put like Rashida's, yeah. So we'll keep those in. Looks like the Mani Sanai just hasn't been good enough for us. So like this might be good enough. Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, let's just do that. That's good enough. Okay, it's 11:30. I'll try and fix well, that didn't work. I'll try and fix the other thing. Pads. I don't think we have the slots for it. Aster script. Oh, we played against them last week. They're probably playing something good. Val's not a good matchup for us. Bad publicity makes it really easy to trash these things. Ooh, but Manta Grid opening. Oh, we keep those. Great stuff. Thanks for restreaming on YouTube, by the way. I don't like watching on Twitch. I like how YouTube lets me rewind if I need to do double take. Yeah, that's a really good point about YouTube, is that you don't have to watch at live speed. Hey. So if I'm not mistaken, AstroScript is very likely to be playing a competitive deck, and also very likely maybe to play the APOC Val decks. But Valencia has a bad publicity, which means it's very easy for them to trash our stuff. Spamming this again. Yo, Giles, excuse me. Thank you. I need to shout this out. There are a couple tournaments this weekend, and I'll shout them out before we sign off for tonight. So for those who are not initiated. Oh, that's a really bad opening. And we'll just put this HQ, I guess. Weird coincidence, just beat a game, and during the credits, I heard a voice actor's name was Rashida, just as you said it. Heck yeah. What game did you beat, dude? Also, are we sure how to pronounce Yahim? Because, like, I've been saying Yahim kind of like a Slavic name, but is it Jahim? Because Jahim might make more sense. Pads and Pad Factory. Pad Factory is not a very good card. You really need to do something with. Oh, tomorrow's headline Bologna. There's 5 points on the top. I think they just trashed the Spin Doctor run back. Yeah, there you go. That's so bad. That's really rough. Oh, it's sure gamble. Okay. Oh, Subnautica below 0. Hell yeah. Or Manta Grid. Okay. So they know that we have a headline. A Manta Grid would be good. Again, we didn't res any of these, which is disgusting. So Pad Factory has totally got me an RPC win in draft. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, RPC is kind of fun in NBN with Beal, but it's hard to get that whole thing. If you do that, yeah, to be big Beal, then you play Pad Factory because you can't afford to advance the cards. So I guess we draw Bologna, and this is our hand. This is our cool hand. This is rubbish. Like, yeah, what the Pad Factory exclusive with 13-point Beal. Yeah, 100%. It's got a more integrated narrative than the first. It's also a little bit smaller, shorter. Plus, I've gotten good at playing Subnautica. Yeah, I bounced off Subnautica pretty hard, unfortunately. But I recognize that's a really cool card. Oh, Penny Shaver. Yeah, this looks like it is the Apocalypse list. Fucking shit. That's like using an Enigma on a Central is just so rough. And like now if we push a Beal out, they know we have a Beal. So I think if anything, we actually end up pushing out a Bologna. Because I don't think they're on Imp. Yeah, it's really bad. Watch the runner's eyes. Their console accumulates 13 advances. The original Pad Factory advances itself. Put them down on the table one at a time. Yeah, I think I'm going to push out the Bologna behind just this ice. It's a Jeeves. Never hitting our Manta. Hell, what about we just score on top of the Manta? We could do tomorrow's headline on top of the Manta. That seems kind of cute, doesn't it? Oh, it's a second Jeeves. They never hit our fucking Manta. If that was a Manta, we would have got it. We would have got it if they hit the Manta there. We lost the 50-50. Ugh. What is this? And they're not running this server? Come on. So we've had a good stream tonight. Thanks for showing up, y'all. We'll be back next week. What is this? Glad to catch the end. I'm just joking, but this is probably you have 6 credits. Honestly, have 4 cards. Do I give them 4 cards? Are we breaking all the rules? We are breaking all the rules of Netrunner. Have 4 cards. Now they'll think that we're bad at Netrunner, so they'll underestimate me. I didn't want them to have money, so they can't interact favorably with Bologna Manta. Yeah, we're just gonna slam though. Like that's the cool thing about this is that you can play really aggressively if you think that you're losing, and then just jam agendas, and sometimes it works. Keep them distracted with these cards. Ooh, moshing. Yeah, this is definitely the Wildcat list. Now, this list only ran a single, like there's 2 big 1 of cards in this deck. There's a 1 of Apocalypse, which is a pretty root thing. But one of the stronger things right now is actually a 1 of Rebirth, because it can rebirth into Omar. Oh, it's happening. So they have enough credits to trash the Manta, not steal the Bologna. The big issue here is that they can bounce off the Manta. Like this can do nothing. They can trash the Manta, then not steal the Bologna, and then come back and steal the Bologna. Like we're not gonna get anything out of this. Like this is not a good res. Like if anything, is gonna confuse them, which is nice, but it doesn't do anything. Like again, alas, the problem with Manta. Yeah, there you go. Like we just lose a Bologna too now. I guess at this point, one of them steal the Bologna. Yeah, I guess that's true. We do have hard-hitting news here. But they only steal for 4 credits. So, like, what do? We have no tag punishment, no money. Yeah, that's the issue with Manta Grid. It's so flexible in the ways that they can deal with it. Yeah, okay, we're gonna hard-hitting news them. We can't really afford to res Jeeves. Oh. That's a Penny Shaver with a bunch of bank creds. Yeah, they have. Like, they could consider clearing most of the tags. And if they clear 3 tags, like, we're done. Like, we have no money. We've literally got no economy cards. We've drawn literally no economy cards. Hard-hitting news won't slow them down that badly. They might tilt. Like, they might go in for a Stargate. It's, like, the best we have. But the problem is, like, even with 4 tags, we can't close the game. Oh, my God. Five tags. Yeah, now the thing is, like, at least Stargate's not a big thing because we have all of the agendas. Cephalopod, hey, Andre, what's this terrible hand? What are you talking about? Keep the agendas safe in hand away from the Stargate. 3 pad? I don't know, Joggy. Well, like, I hear you. This deck would trash 3 pad, but, like, we need slots. That's the bigger deal. We can't just add 3 pad. Jeeves was 1 credit. Could we really not? No, we really couldn't. If we wanted to res this, we couldn't. So AR has security, Rashida, oh, and ping. So they steal the AR and security. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't steal it. They could have just trashed like Rashida and ran back. I don't know why they trashed that. Oh, they have 11 credits. Yeah, so now they're gonna just clear all the tags. 10 tags. Yeah, it's cool. I guess we lose. So now we draw a ping. I think I might concede this one, y'all. Rashida was drawn to some agendas finally. If the game's not going fast enough, Rashida's really good. Oh, okay. Interesting enough, this means they are going tag me if they're running this turn, because botchless only breaks one in subroutine. So the trace 3 might fire. So, because they have to break both subroutines. Oh, they have to break the second subroutine. So they might trace here. Just because play a balloon on the table and pretend it's another Jeeves. Yeah, but then if there's a balloon on the table, what are we doing? And like, it's in their best interest to check everything. They have penny shaver, let alone bad publicity. Like you can't. They're calling all our assets right now. Yeah, so they break this for 2 credits. Tomorrow's headline. They knew that one was in hand. So I don't think there's any agenda. Oh, they're on 7 tags. We're only short a lot of credits. But they are going to tag me. So we got to get that going for us. We just drew the 1 card. Let's win off the 13-point Beal. There's a small chance we can. The problem is like we need 13 credits. And based off of the way that this is going, we're going to need a lot more clicks or credits. Cut Manta for boom? Yes. Or literally anything else. Man, it's not a good card. Have you ever had luck just bluffing a naked agenda and the runner never checks it? Yes, you can. But because we're so far behind, they are in their best interest to check everything, because not only bad publicity, but penny shaver. Like, it would be bizarre if they don't check everything. Also, because we're on 6 credits, it's in their best interest to force us to res every piece of ice. So they would run this slot machine. There's just nothing that we're doing to threaten them. Right now, the one thing that they might be worried about is that we could draw into a boom and they could die. So they might have to go aggressive to get accesses to do things like this. And I'm not going to res here because we have most of the agendas in our hand. And if we res this, we're not going to be able to win. Spin Doctrine down, that's 2 spins. Right? Like if anything here, they're scared of boom or high profile target. And it's hard for them to interact with that. So 40% chance to not lose here. This looks so bad from their side of the table. We've done literally nothing. Fire. Trace 3. So they're not breaking it. Single axis. Psycho. Okay. They know our tag punishment. They're on 8 tags. So we actually could go and score a Bologna out and trade 5 for 5. Might not be the worst. Yo, Chad, do we wait for the 13 Beal? What do you think? You think we have to wait for the 13 Beal? How many seconds on the deck? 2. Rongi. How's it going, by the way? The problem is like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we're at 12. We are going to top deck advanced assembly lines. And that's actually comparable to clicking for a credit. Get the cards out of hand or you just lose? No, I think we have to get lucky. So I'm going to do this. It's like comparable, right? It's the same as clicking for credits. It digs them deeper with Stargate. That's for sure. Oh, they're removing tags. Oh, sick. Oh, sick. Okay, so now we have to just go for what we can. So we can't install anything from hand barring the ping. Rashida. Okay. Could try raising G's a couple turns ago when you're trying to credit up. Yeah, it's... You're right. We maybe could have done that. So we either go for big Beal or big Bologna. I'd rather do big Beal because if they're clearing tags, they might not have Bologna money. If we do Beal, we can get it up to a 5-pointer. So we'll do new remote, draw a card. Yeah, okay. Psycho. Because we had Psycho. They saw it. Oh, stop. Okay, we're on the board. To score Bologna now? I'd rather score this because if they clear tags, they might not have money. Like, this is a problem. Next run, we can advance assembly lines. So they're going to trash this, break all subroutines. They have access to paperclip, right? No, they don't. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Small chance of losing here. Mamba Temple. Okay, they could trash that. We're gonna do this. Gonna be brave. We put the Mamba Temple on the table. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, well, they were in the middle of that. Can't do that mid-run. I'm not resing this. Blown gets us +5 creds, and then it also protects itself more than Beal could. Yeah, I think you're right. You could go either way, and they're gonna play against Beal. Slot Machine Daily Business on Manta. So, interestingly enough, Slot Machine Daily Business. So they trash the Slot Machine. So we're drawing a Daily Business show. We could draw into a Manta Grid, which they might have to respect. And this is where you do this to install this on the table. Like, that is, Rashida's so absurdly good with his advanced assembly lines. The fact that we weren't playing it is insulting. Because we have this play. Like, oh, huge. Okay, how do we win? We need to put ping on HQ. I think we need to put the temple here. Because we need the temple. The Manta they know is a thing. Interestingly about Manta, I think we do Sansan, right? Because we actually can res Sansan on tempo. And unfortunately, I think we throw out the Manta. Oh, and... oh, I forgot we had a Maryland. We just drew that, right? Agent will slow them down. Yeah, but it'll slow us down more. We don't have any income. Like, at this point, they're not clearing any more tags. And we don't have another psychographic, so I don't think so. Still no Jeeves res? Yeah, I forgot about it. But now it's a lot easier with Mamba Temple. But yeah, I've been forgetting about it. I think we should have ripped Jeeves. What did we do on that turn? We did triple install? Yeah, we probably should have. But hey, we did that on purpose. Oh, we drew a Spin Doctor! Sick! It's so good. They're in 12 credits. We could top deck a psychographics. Oh, that's good too. We still do really have to watch out. Oh, install this. Actually, we want to install the Daily Business Show a lot of times so we can trigger off Spin Doctor. We've done triple, so we'll do this. And no, I don't want to click for credit. I don't want 3 agendas in hand. Seems ludicrous. So I think we'll res the doc. I should have thought this out better. Install this. Click for credit. They're at 3, 4, 5, 6. So any agenda? Ugh. So we'll throw out what it looks like one agenda. The one that we don't want to score. Sneak out an Aries? I don't know. I think they'll start checking this. And like, we don't have to fast advance both of these Beals. So we'll do one, and then I think we have to do a Spin Doctor. I don't think there's a choice there. I don't know. I think they should check this. Maybe they don't. But like, to res this is 4 credits. Do they have Black Orchestra? They do. Do we res this? It's 1 credit. Yeah, I think we do. Last click draw, right? Do you have more agendas and archives? No, we only had 1. I don't think we want to draw there because I think these are safer in hand. Because we wanted to recover a Spin Doctor anyways. Oh wow, they lost a click on that. Actually, wow. Whew, that's a good hit. Trashing, sorry, bringing back the psychographics I think was also a reasonable play. Why they left that? I'm surprised. What? You serious? What's happening? We have game point on the table. Can we win this? Don't get your hopes up. You know better than that. Can't be. It's too powerful. Please, game. We can't go this far and then lose. We have just enough money. Even if they trash the Maryland, I think we have enough money. They don't have paperclip yet. Yeah, we do have a Sansan. We do. They might boomerang this. I don't think they actually have boomerang. They need a paperclip from hand. Yo, Ken, how's it going? SSCG still on the board. So now if the Maryland wins, we have enough money to win because it's a 6 credits to score out, or technically 8 credits, right? So we need Maryland to survive. And then we can do Maryland into that. They know what this is. Are they goofing this? They check this on like turn 3. Mamba Bucks? Yeah, we used them on the ping. Oh, you're right. If the Mamba survives 2, we'll get the Mamba Bucks. Ah, oh, piss. So now tagging them further doesn't matter. Okay, that's okay. That's okay, I think. Oh, both of our Sands are out. Oh, man. I don't know how to win. I think we needed a spin doctor. Why ice the Mamba Temple Mind Games? Because it was really important. It's actually really important that we ice this because they would have trashed it on site if we didn't. Oh, that's how we win. I forgot. We have an amazing deck. So, like, the problem is we have both psychographics in the bin. We have 1 spin doctor in the bin, 1 out of the game. Purple card looks terrible. It's because it is. But there's a small chance we can win the game. Oh, I forgot we had Jeeves. I don't think we ice it. Okay, these will help us find the thing. Slots in front of the Manta. I don't know if we want to do that because this deck, it doesn't seem likely that we'd score out behind a single ice unless it's specifically like a ping because they could always, well, I guess they couldn't deal with IP block. So I feel like icing it might be a bit dodgy. Maybe made a questionable Netrunner promo purchase day, ordered playmat cards I probably can't use IRL for months. What'd you get, Ken? That's fun. It drains them 3 credits when they get a click. No, you're right, but I just don't know if they run it. So many twist and turn, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Because sometimes icing it up makes it look like we're bluffing. So I don't know. I don't know how to read them well. Apparently we could have just scored a Beal out. Well, res the one they know about. Shit. We need to find the 1 spin doctor. Enigma they can deal with. They have a paperclip. So like the HQ pressure is going to be a legitimate concern. Lay out 3 cards and play? No, do you know what we're going to do? How bad is if we put a Beal on a Manta Grid? I'm telling you, ice double 13? Well, okay. At this point, why would we ice 13? If it was a Sandstorm, we would have won. If it was an agenda, anything else besides Bologna, we would have scored it. So, like, icing this looks really bad. And they also know that we're Mantas. Like, they've seen one already this game. So, I don't think it's worth it. From what I've seen. If they apocalypse us, we lose. I think that's the bigger problem. And putting, like, a slot machine on archives doesn't really change anything. Besides, yeah, it doesn't change much. This is going to shuffle our deck. I missed out the Rizeki playmat back in the day, so I bought that and some Continental prizes. Oh, that's super cool. I don't know what to do. Anything looks sus. Yeah, icing anything is really weird. It's not about logic, it's about fate. But I feel like we can do better than that. We could have just put a Beal on the table last turn, though. That's something I didn't realize. I'll try it. So I like to sneak it out, yeah. And like we might have been able to just put on server 15 and then pause. Like I feel like if we installed the Beal in 15 and then waited, that would make it really suspicious. Because the only line that maybe this is the winning agenda is if this was a Sanson City Grid and we didn't have the thing in hand. The 3-2. But we probably lose here. Damn. Yeah, good game. We could have pushed on the table. We had 4 agendas in hand, though. We got pretty close. If we just had another Sanson in our deck, would have been good. But yeah, it's really hard here. We need the Spin Doctor to have a chance. It's going to APOC this turn. Yeah, I reckoned. Yeah, and they're just going to sub for the Apocalypse for sure, and we can't stop that. Manta failed in exciting fashion. It was useless. It's not good. It's really not good. And maybe the problem is we don't have enough like Mamba virtual tours and traps, but like you saw how easily they diffused on server 2. Yeah, for sure. I could have snuck out a Beal on last turn. I don't think Manta matters, right? Yeah. 31 accesses? Yeah. Wait, what? Oh yeah, 31 accesses. But that number I think is a bit misleading because they ran archives and accessed 15. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe we needed to respect the fact that they were respecting a bit more. That's true. Thanks for the game, eh? I don't know who this player is. Like, I think this is a... Anytime I see a name like this, I've said this before, I think it's a player smurfing. Hey, you too. Cheers. Manta's not a card for anything, no. Yeah. Sort of a Glacier card, sort of, but then it works with 3-2 agendas. That doesn't work. Like, maybe you can try that in your Precision Design or your Acid Jam deck, but, like, all the other win conditions are way more reliable. All right, let's just talk about some stuff. Always be running. A couple things we need to shout out. Singapore. This is an in-person store championship, if I'm not mistaken, because you can do that. It is in Singapore, which is on this map. So get involved if you can. That's awesome. There's like a lot of people showing out, and that is just this weekend, right? Could be Asker Smirk. Asker's a really cool dude. I think Asker's like one of my favorite Netrunner players to watch. There's some other stuff. If you want to get involved, if I'm not mistaken, there is, well, there's a lot here. I think, where's the link for it? But I'm pretty sure Sangren is running a store championship. Vancouver has a store championship on the 29th. Oh, it's in this other options. Lazy Standard, Lob King, Charlotte, Netrunner. Shit. Wait, so it'd have to be one of these. Are these? No, Lazy Worm? I don't know what this is. I'll be using my fancy new Aesop's table. What is this? I don't know what we're looking at. Synchron is Laser Worm. Oh, awesome. Okay, super cool. So there's a store championship you can get involved in, or the standard tournament. I don't think it's a store championship, it's a GNK. So you want to get involved in that. That's here. It's a standard tournament, 10 a.m. EDT. I think Yasengren said they might be streaming it, so check it out. Again, twitch.tv/YasengrenSC. You can get involved in that. But it's awesome. Events are happening in person or out of person. I don't know what Aesop's Tables is. Is this for, oh, this is Yasengren's thing for single-sided Swiss. Yeah, right on. Super cool. In person, wow, yeah. Also the whole region thing where it fights against all the crazy good glacier regions. Thing where it fights. Yeah, that's also a huge issue. Like, it would be so good to put that with Sansen to make a bad fork. Oh, Singa's JNet? Oh, excuse me, my bad. So apparently that's a JNet tournament. Oh, so that's actually easy to get involved in. Excuse me, I thought that was in person. I thought I misheard that. Hey, Andre, just dropping on by lunch break. I got into Arkham Horror thanks to your playthroughs a while ago. Oh, that's awesome. Just wondering, what cycles do you have enjoyed the most? We are doing Dunwich currently. Dunwich is admittedly, I think, the worst cycle, because it's important to know that Dunwich was being developed while the game wasn't released yet, so they didn't have a good understanding, or they didn't have as good of a grasp of what the game was capable of as some of the cycles that came out like years later. So I think Dunwich it's not bad by any means, especially Return to Dunwich. I think ironed out some of the problems because it does have mechanical problems in it. There are some scenarios that you can die on turn one. There's some scenarios that you can just be stuck. But sounds like classic FFG. No, but that's not classic FFG. That just happens with anything. Like, you design the first cycle before the game releases. You have to, so that it's on the market. So, and that's any game. Like, any game, the first season of it, like, is really silly until they figure out what the game actually is. But anyways, my favorite cycles, Innsmouth has been really fun so far. I'm a huge sucker for Carcosa because the narrative elements are really fun. Forgotten Age is, a lot of people have strong opinions about it. I think it's actually awesome in terms of design and direction, but it is a very mean cycle. I don't think there's any that I dislike. I just think Dunwich is the least interesting by a mile. But if you want to get anyone next, I think Carcosa is really cool because Carcosa, they like understood what they could do with the scenarios. It's a lot more flexible. We immediately died on one of the middle scenarios. I think you know which one. Yeah, that can happen, and they ironed that out. The number of card games that included a card that draws 2 cards at 0 cost is rather silly. Pot of Greed. Yeah, no, it's really good. The game's good. Some of the standalones are also some of the best things. So like, even if you can find the Excelsior Hotel is just a really, really nice scenario with a lot of replayability. Out of all the standalones, just don't get the Labyrinth, because the Labyrinth doesn't make sense unless you play with like 16 players or whatever. 12 players, I think, is the maximum. I forget, but it's not good as like a non-massive experience. That's another thing that they got better the more they did it. Anywho, That's all? Yeah, I should cut myself off the side of the screen. That's probably a good way of doing things. Thanks so much for hanging out today. We won a Netrunner game today, maybe if we're lucky. So that's pretty cool. But we had a good time doing it. It was the friends we made on the way, and specifically the enemies, because you should judge people by how good their enemies are, or at least that's what they do for comic books. I'm gonna hate one person a day. 12-player Arkham is actually really, really cool. It plays kind of like Model UN. Specifically, Labyrinth was amazing as 12-player Arkham because you had 3 tables of 4. We did this in public when public was a thing, and then there was like, based off the scenario, there's ways you could communicate with other tables. So like we'd send a delegate who could go over there and then share only certain information, and you actually had to work together. Labyrinth is actually really, really, really cool, but only if you can play it with 12 players. Andre's too strong versus PE wins with any deck. Well, it's, you know, there's standards. I haven't played Blob yet. It's actually the only standalone we haven't done because my group agreed to play it once we could go back in person. But I played all the other standalones. One of them actually takes place partially in Montreal, which is cool. Anywho, that's all. It's a long weekend in Canada. Enjoy your long weekend. You have Monday off. It's the May 2-4, or we call it like something different in Quebec because we don't respect the Queen. But take care of yourselves. We'll be back in a week. To all the people we played games against, to everybody in chat, watching VOD, hanging out. NBN video is up. Do check that out. Oh, I did want to shout out one thing. Oh man, I should have said this earlier, but we Flesh and Blood came up instead of the other stuff. There's actually a really cool article talking about tournaments on StimHack. This is Eric actually wrote this. It is an article about like getting involved in tournaments, everything you need about tournaments, and it's like very relevant. Tournaments are like one of the coolest things about Netrunner, let alone sometimes every card game. And Eric has a lot of experience with it, writing a lot of his experiences about like how to prepare for it, what you should do, how structures work. Do give this a read. It's actually really quite good. Take care, y'all.